episode of Spare Time. I'm Carlos. I got a very special guest today. Actually, guests, I should say, is Savoy and Justice Bell, my daughter and son-in-law. I'm super excited about having you guys on here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We're excited to be here.
Excited.
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right on.
Good.
Well, so pretty much nobody around here knows you, Savoy.
No, kind of the gray man around here.
Yeah, Justice has been around for a while, so people know her, and she was already a guest once, so even my guests that don't know her know a little bit about her. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know more about me than they think, because after the podcast with Justice and our friend. Yeah, my name's Savoy Bell. I'm originally from Wyoming. I was born in Grand Junction, Colorado. Navy vet, dad, currently going to school, trying to be a firefighter. Yeah, having a good time.
Right on.
Yeah.
And give us a little refresher who you are, Justice.
I'm Carlos's daughter. I was born here in good old Roseburg, Oregon, and went to the military for a hot minute and met my husband right here. And we have 3 beautiful daughters now, and we're just trying to survive.
Right on. Well, I'm glad to get you guys on here. Savoy's been wanting to get on ever since you talked shit about him on your episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's got to redeem himself because he's a little bit of a weirdo. I mean,
I know I'm a weirdo, maybe a Unabomber, who knows.
we gotta redeem him from being the nerd.
Well, I guess typically I don't do like a big interview format. I'll ask you some questions, but mostly we just kind of BS and talk about whatever. You said you're born in Grand Junction.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. I know a little bit, but tell me a little bit about growing up in Wyoming.
Honestly, it's really similar to here. It's about the same size as town where I'm from. Rock Springs is about 25,000 people. There's a little bit more here with all the like outlining communities like Sutherland and Glide, not very far away and all that. All we had was another small little town about 15 minutes away. It was called Green River. But it was the area that I'm from, it looks a lot similar to like Eastern Oregon. It's just Sagebrush City, and it is cold as all hell. Sucked, but I enjoyed it. It was good. I was raised in a good upbringing. I had good parents. It was a lot of fun when I grew up. It's a lot different now. Like I grew up a lot of people that I met and all my friends that I grew up with were just from me running around being a little hoodlum around my neighborhood, and doing things that we weren't supposed to, staying out late, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good community to grow up in. Not a lot of like homeless problems or anything like that. It's a clean city. It's a lot like here you have all the mills that people get stuck in and
work out forever.
Yeah.
They have mines in Wyoming, so it's the same thing, just a little different. Yeah, no, everyone works at a mine over there.
Usually, if you're born there, they call it the Rock Springs curse. You're born there, you usually stay there.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided.
What do they mine over there?
I think it's like a lot of
like mineral mining, like
a lot of mineral mining, coal mining. They have a big power plant out there that they work on. They have. Trying to think of the mineral that they mine. They have a trona mine out there. Shoot. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that they mine out there.
But you escaped that.
Oh yeah, I mean.
So your dad was your dad a cop when you were growing up?
Yeah, my dad was a cop growing up. I remember I was about 5.
Funny, everybody I talked to that grew up with a cop, was like a hoodlum when they were growing up. Like, like cops. Apparently, cop kids think they can get away with whatever they want. So.
No. I definitely didn't think that. I was more afraid of running into I got in a little trouble when I was younger, but I mean, no more than anybody else. But a lot of me was my older brother was kind of the one that was the real rebellious one. So I got to see that, and I was like, nah, it's not really my thing. But I still had my times where I was doing my own thing. And my mom worked full time, my dad worked full time, so we're just latchkey kids. I mean, it was
Nice.
It's a lot different from the way my kids are kind of growing up in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were kind of let loose and ran wild. It was a good upbringing for sure. But
Let loose and ran wild. Good upbringing.
it was a good upbringing. It's a lot. I wish. I don't know. It seems like things are a lot different now. Like
There's so much stuff. I mean, you guys are obviously way younger.
yeah.
But even when you guys were growing up, things have changed so much.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
when I grew up, we were. I think my little brother was like 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I was 9,
Mm-hmm.
and we freaking rode our bikes to school like
man.
2 miles. Rode our bikes home like 2 miles. We got home. There was nobody home.
Yeah.
And we did whatever we wanted until our punks got home, which wasn't until like 5:30 at night.
Same. Same.
And there was no cell phones, so you didn't
Yeah,
check in. You
exactly.
couldn't check in. You couldn't do nothing.
I kind of had that same thing. I didn't get a cell phone until I was.
He's the epitome of like, when I was your age, I walked to school in this. That's the boy.
Man, there was times.
Yeah.
Where I went to school was about a mile away from where we had. It was actually the place where I grew up. I got real. It was actually kind of cool. So my house was only from the junior high that I went to and from the high school that I went to. I was about a mile away from each walk. And I remember there was times in the winter, my parents were like, "You got to walk to school. 'Cause, I mean, we're not taking you. We got to go to work. You'll be fine. You'll live.
Yeah.
You
Don't
know?
stop.
Don't stop. You're not gonna die." And I mean, there was one time I vividly remember this, and I laugh about it now, but during the time I thought I was gonna die. But I was coming home and I was in, I want to say I was in 5th grade, and I was walking up the hill up to my house, and it was, I swear to God, maybe I'm exaggerating the way I'm remembering things, but it was a full damn blizzard going on, and I'm walking my little ass up this fucking hill and freezing. And I remember I got halfway and I was thinking, I'm gonna die. Like I might have to hunker down and shelter in place for the storm to blow over, so I can get home, because there's no way I'm getting home. I'm gonna get frostbite. I was like, and I'm thinking, I remember talking to myself. I'm like, my goddamn parents, they're horrible. They're mean, making me walk in this. They should pick me up. All the other kids get picked up by the bus or their parents, and I have to fucking walk home. And
You go back and look at it. It was 500
yeah,
feet.
it was probably 45 degrees outside. It wasn't that bad. A little snow, but I felt like I was going to freeze to death. Felt like I was in The Revenant.
That's funny. So, you've told me some stories of
Yeah.
you growing up, and your dad, it sounds like, was a fan of like real life lessons.
Yeah, for sure.
You told me about when you and your brother had a dog.
Yeah. Oh man, this is probably, I don't know. Some people might find this offensive.
Fuck those people. I love this
I agree.
story.
I think this is
hilarious.
one of the best lessons I've ever.
I knew I was going to love your dad when you told me this.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most influential lessons I've had growing up. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it instilled responsibility in me. Looking back on it now, and I'm real fortunate that I had a father that I did have, you know. But I remember my dad. This story's gonna come off of my dad's some kind of hard ass, but my dad is not.
He's the most biggest teddy bear.
Biggest fucking teddy bear, but he's very serious about being a man, having a responsibility, and taking responsibility for your actions. He's that type of guy, and I forget how old I was, but he told me, he goes, "Hey, I need you to feed the dogs." I go, "Okay, Dad, I'll feed the dogs," and he goes to work. And well, me being a kid, I'm like, fuck, I'll feed him later. I'm not too worried about it. I'm fucking doing my own thing. Well, my dad gets home. He goes, "Hey, did you feed the dogs?" And I go, "Oh, no, I didn't feed the dogs." He goes, "Did you eat?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "I'll feed them." He goes feed his dogs. And next morning, he wakes up, and it was the weekend this next morning. And he comes up and he goes, "Hey, why don't you load the dogs up? we'll go out, we'll go shooting because my dad's big into guns. I grew up around guns my entire life. Because we'll go shooting, we'll go look for some prairie dogs, go blow some prairie dogs up, and plague dogs up, and we'll go run around. I'm like, all right, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's go do that. And I load dogs up, and we head out to the boonies out in the middle of nowhere, and I let the dogs out, and he hands me his pistol, and he goes, all right, son, shoot those fucking dogs. I go, what? He goes, shoot that fucking dog in the head. And I go, Dad, I'm not shooting the dogs. He goes, you don't want to take care of them. You want to eat before they do. You can shoot the dog in the head. And I am bawling, sobbing. Dad, don't make me shoot the dogs. He would never let me actually shoot the dog, but it was just one of those things. It's like, you never let your dogs go hungry before you eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of mentality. And I damn sure always made sure my dogs were fed before I ate. That's
Dude,
for
I
sure
love it.
after that.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He does that to me. I don't think he'd ever do that to his granddaughters. He would
no,
never
no
make
way,
them
yeah.
cry intentionally.
No.
He's too much of a big
He could
softy.
never make, if they start crying, he starts
He
crying.
melts.
instantly.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah. But that's, yeah, when you told me that story, I was like, oh, I gotta meet this guy.
I
It's
was
pretty
like,
amazing. Great. Yeah.
sniffling, boobing. It was pretty funny. Yeah,
If you would have shot the dogs, he would have thought you were a psycho.
He was about to say, fuck, I didn't think you actually shoot the dogs.
And your mom would have been pissed.
Oh my god. I remember we had this fucking guinea pig, and my dad hated that fucking guinea pig. And I guess we found out later that they fucking lied to us and like, oh, the guinea pig died. I'm like, okay. And this was after a long weekend. We went and seen our grandparents. We came back and it was my little brother's guinea pig. And my dad had fucking took that thing out and shot the fucking guinea pig because he got tired of the damn thing. And he told us that he just died.
We had hamsters for a little while
Yeah.
when Justice was little. They had mobster names. I don't remember what it was, like Capone and something else.
Mobster names?
Yeah, it was like, I don't remember. Anyways, so they weren't like they were like in the family room, so I never went out there, so I
No.
didn't even see them. And every day I'd ask the kids, did you feed them? Did you give them water? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no problem. Well, then one day I go out there, and they're like rigor mortis, dude. I mean, they were like hard as a rock.
Like mummified?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were dead. And I was like, what the? So then I asked kids, I was like, who's been taking care of these guys? And they're like, oh, well, they're all like pointing fingers at each other. And I was, so basically nobody else, they all say, oh yeah, we took care of it. Just assuming that one of the other kids took care of it.
Had yourself an old
Yeah.
guinea pig.
I don't know how long they were dead. I just know they were dead as shit.
Poor thing.
So then I'm just like, okay, go throw them over the fence. You know? It's
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's freaking awesome. I think that's good lessons.
They
Good
were
lesson learned.
good lessons, yeah. Definitely hung on to those, but I look back and they're funny. I didn't think they were funny at the time, but I think they're funny now.
So, when did you get into wrestling? Because that was like, sounds like that was like the biggest part of your growing up.
Oh, yeah, that was a very large part of my life up until I pretty much left for the Navy. I started wrestling when I was about 5 years old. And I mean, I did it until my freshman year of college. The first time I went to college. And then I had some knee injuries and was burnt out, and then decided to hang up my shoes, and then ended up working at a climbing gym for about a year, and then I joined the Navy after that because I couldn't stand.
Like every single one of your friends that I've met was either from wrestling or from the Navy. So
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Well, my best friend, the guy that I still keep in touch with the most, he's a boxer, but most of my friends were all wrestlers or from the Navy. But yeah, wrestling is, I don't know, it's the best sport in the world to me. You know?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that it I don't know, it's kind of part of your lifestyle. It instills great like work ethic and determination and everything like that. makes you a better person.
It's a huge thing around here.
Yeah.
I have lots of friends and lots of customers who are huge into it. One of our customers has a boy that's about I think he's older than 5, but not by much. He's a little kid, and he posts videos of him wrestling of his matches all the time.
Yeah,
dude, that kid's a little badass, and he's so fast.
That's awesome.
I love watching little kids wrestle. Yeah. It's so entertaining.
It's the best thing in the world. They stand there and they look at each other and like, all right.
My little sister did it for a while, and it was good for her.
Yeah,
definitely good for her. She didn't like losing. She was really good when she started, and then she lost like her first time, and she was pissed because she was so good when she first started. But Roseburg's really big into wrestling because Roseburg High School had 6 years in a row of state championships for our wrestling team, and the coach here at Roseburg's really good too. It's nice.
I've been all
as
over.
long as I can remember. Yeah. Even when I was in high school, wrestling. I mean, football's always been number 1 in Roseburg, and then wrestling was
wrestling's right behind it. Wrestling's always had a really good sponsorship and definitely a lot of funding. We never had to pay really, and because I did stats for a while, we never really had to pay anything. Even us stat girls got shirts and stuff, and we never had to pay anything. But I would say Savoy's love for wrestling and my love for wrestling translates into our everyday lives because we watch a lot of UFC. A lot.
My freaking grandkids attack me and think I'm a jungle gym.
Yeah. We wrestle a lot in our house. Our kids are pretty used to it. Leighton choke slammed some little girl at a wedding one time.
Lyra tried to rip my ear off.
Yeah, they're rough kids. They'll let you know. They may be little girls, but they're rough.
Right.
They're rough and tumbly. That's for sure.
I know their older cousins call them their mean cousins.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I've been all over the place for wrestling. I mean, I've been all over pretty much all over the country for wrestling. I've been up to Idaho from it, down to Nevada, all the way to North Dakota.
Did your dad help coach you, or
no? Well, kind of. My dad was more of a football player. He wrestled when he was younger, but I don't know. Football wasn't for me. I remember I quit playing football my freshman year of high school just because I was so small. I don't have the size. I've never been a big guy, but yeah, I remember just being I remember getting hit one time by a lineman and be like, dude, this is not for me. I am not built for this. But wrestling has always been my passion. I've always been really good at it. So I've been to nationals 4 times. So
I know I've talked to your mom a lot, and she's got lots of stories she was like your guys' wrestling mom.
Oh, my goodness.
Sounds like she drug you and all your buddies around everywhere.
All over the place, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, and she's always telling me about freaking you guys doing stupid shit at restaurants and in hotels.
Oh, stupid shit. We used to have this thing where we'd call everything by the same name, but just pronounce it differently. Like cheese, we call Ches. And then we try to get my mom to say Ches. And then we'll giggle at her when she asks the waiter, hey, can I get some Ches on that? It's just one of those things, Yeah, my close knit group of friends were dummies, but we did some dumb stuff. Yeah, but we were a group of characters.
Sounds like you guys were kind of meatheads.
Meatheads, a little bit. But we always kind of looked out for the odd dudes out. We always enjoyed hanging out with the special ed guys. Because it's so funny because my best friend was huge into WWE growing up, and I don't know what it is with kids who are going to special ed and people who suffer from Down syndrome and all that, but they always have this giant interest in WWE. Yeah. So always had that interest of talking about WWE with those guys. So when we'd go to lunch and sit at the cafeteria, we'd always sit with those guys and talk WWE with them. And we'd always make fun of all the football players, but we were all. The thing is, I do have to say about where I grew up in my high school. We had my graduating class. We were very close. All of us were really close, even from the weird dudes all the way up to the misfits, the cast outs, to the football player jocks. We were all close. We all hung out.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, I've noticed you're pretty inclusive to everybody that you meet.
Yeah, I kind of dabble in. I have my fingers in a little bit of everything, and
you're not huge on crowds of people.
No, I'm not.
But you seem to be very nice to everybody that you meet. Yeah, what's his name? A stand-up comedian. He talks about people with Down syndrome.
Oh,
Theo Vaughn?
No,
Oh, what's his name? I love him.
I can't think of his name, but I love him too. He's freaking.
God.
Anyways, he talks about all handicapped dudes like two things: boobs
Yes.
and John Cena.
Dude, seriously. It is 100% a thing.
It's 100% true.
And
Everyone I've met.
what I loved is like I'd see like me and my buddy, we had this. I remember this one kid. He had Down syndrome really bad, but we used to sit with him. We used to talk WWE with him. And he was a big Randy Orton fan, and But the thing is like we'd always be so impressed by the amount of food this kid could eat. This dude would have a mountain of food on his tray when he sat down, and it wasn't separated. It was just all mixed together. Everything hot, cold.
How it's gonna end up.
It did not matter.
It's all goulash.
This dude
now.
would just exactly. It was goulash. Goulashed it down. It was so impressive. But yeah, I don't know. I've always just got along with people. I enjoy hearing from people from different walks of life. I don't know. Why I enjoy my time in the Navy.
He loves history for sure.
Love history.
Yeah, you're a history buff
Yeah.
and fantasy sci-fi buff. Right?
Yeah, I'm big into fantasy sci-fi.
You're constantly because I like to listen and read fantasy sci-fi books.
Right.
And like every time we talk, you're like, "Oh, have you checked this one out?
Yeah,
have
for
you checked
sure.
this one out?
Yeah,
You gotta try this one." Yeah.
I try to hook everybody up with what I'm reading.
And I never remember. I got to remember to ask you before I start something.
It's definitely a passion I picked up from my dad because my dad got me onto because he's the same way. He's a big fantasy book reader and he had a whole library that, and when I was younger, I really wasn't into it. I didn't start getting into it until I got a little bit older. Until I got after my first year of college, that's when I started to really get into reading and actually enjoyed learning stuff. I don't know. Going through high school, I was so focused on just wrestling and having a good time that I didn't really.
I think when you're in high school, you don't
young
you
and dumb.
You instinctively don't want to do what the people want you to do, and they want you to read.
Right.
And so you're like, fuck that, I don't.
Fuck
read.
that, I don't read shit. Yeah. I ain't reading the damn books. Yeah, for sure. But
I was kind of a nerd though, and actually I was a nerd until high school.
Yeah, I was too. I was like goofy. I was goofy.
So I read a lot until I got into high school, and then I was too high to read. So
yeah. But yeah, I enjoy learning now. It's a weird thing. I think it's good for every kid out there if they're getting out of high school and they hated high school. It's like, dude, join the military or get a job for a year and see where you want to go from there. For me, my biggest recommendation is joining the military for a kid who doesn't like high school, is not sure what he wants to do. Dude, join the military, go have some fun, learn some cool shit.
You make some good friends. Yeah.
Some friends that you're going to have for the rest of your life. You're going to get out and you're going to have that ability to be like, hey, I can do whatever I wanted to do if I set my mind to it.
So you joined the Navy.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what was your job? What was your rank? How long were you in? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was in for 4 years. I joined when I just turned 21 when I was in boot camp. But
so you were an old man at boot camp.
I was an old man. Yeah, I was. I've been doing everything late apparently.
Yeah,
it's switching up careers. Everything.
Yeah, you do it all in the wrong order too.
Yeah. I do everything.
We did everything backwards for sure.
Yeah, everything. But I joined. At first, I wanted to do something like special forces or anything like that because I was in really good shape when I first joined. And I wanted to be either like a rescue swimmer. Like I didn't think I could join the SEALs just because I didn't think I could cut it. But so I was like, my dumb ass, I was like, you know what? And I wasn't really much. I mean, I knew how to swim, but I wasn't like an actual swimmer, So I'm like, fuck, I'll fucking be a rescue swimmer. So I went down and I started taking the tests and their PSTs to be a rescue swimmer, and I passed all that and I was going to go. And I got disqualified because I've had 2 prior knee surgeries from wrestling. And so they put me up, and it was kind of dirty what they did to me. So they said that I had a contract to go be a rescue swimmer. They got denied because of my knee surgeries, and so they put me in an undesignated undesignated, so I didn't have a job when I first went in. So when I got in, I picked up after boot camp, I picked up ABH, which is an aviation boatswain's mate, and that can vary from the shittiest work there is. It's not a very fun job. They move aircraft, but thankfully, by the grace of God, there's a small little section of that job that you could do. It's called crash and salvage, where you're basically a first responder on a flight deck, and you work with a lot of like rescuing pilots on downed aircraft and like that, and mitigating emergencies on the aircraft carrier, and making sure the landing area is open and clear for the flight operations to keep continuing. So I got into that, and it's like being in a mini fire department on top of a flight deck. So I got very lucky when I was able to get into that, and I loved it. I had so much fun. I had a great group of friends. There's a lot of training. It was awesome, and it was a lot different. A lot of the dudes are very heavy on lifting, so I got super into lifting when I was in, and I got pretty big there for a while. Got into the 1,000-pound club for lifting, and then I enjoyed my job a lot. And then I met my last year when I was in the Navy. Well, first off, when I was in, I did 2 deployments, both in the Arabian Gulf, and that was from 2014 to 2015, and then from the last part of, I think it was 2016 to 2017, because I got out in 2017, but somewhere in there. But I did two deployments there. It was awesome. I got to see a lot of cool places. My favorite places I visited is Split, Croatia. Is it Split? I want to say it's Split, Croatia. It might not. Either Split or Crete, one of the two. I can't remember. But Croatia was the best place that I got to visit. People are awesome. The country is absolutely beautiful. The food is great. Your money goes a long ways. But yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. My first deployment, I got a little too crazy with it, because I was like, oh, we pull in the port, I'm gonna get as drunk as possible. And then
that was when you were fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh.
So I was fresh. I was just freshly 21. I was out and about on my own, and then I was like, my second deployment, I really focused on like actually seeing the places that I got to visit. So we pulled into Dubai and Bahrain a lot, especially when we were doing flight ops in the Arabian Gulf. They like to pull in those ports, and usually they pull in the port about every 30 days. And most deployments are about 9 months. And now it's on the Harry S. Truman until I got out. So it was a kick-ass job, seeing some cool things. It was hot, but I loved it. Got out because I wanted to be, I don't know, I couldn't see myself continuing to do deployments. I think I got what I could have out of the military, and I gave my time, so I felt like it was my time to get out. And then, of course, my last year in, I was getting out, I met Justice, and then, yeah, that's all she wrote after that. She moved in with me. I couldn't get rid of her. Yeah.
So, apparently in the Navy, they don't have the rule like they do in the Army, where you don't try and pick up on the girl that's going out with your fucking dude.
No.
Because wasn't she supposed to be hooking up with your friend?
Well,
I was on a first date with one of Savoy's friends, and I met, and he said, hey, that's so-and-so, and that's so-and-so, and he's like, and that's Savoy, and I waved at Savoy, and he's like, no, you got to shake his hand, and then I shook Savoy's hand. I was like, wow, this guy reminds me of home. And so then that night I went home and told my friends, they were like, how was it? I was like, it was okay, but his friend reminded me of home. So I think I want to talk to him. And so
yeah, it was weird.
I gave up on him almost immediately, and I set my sights on Savoy, and here we are.
Yeah.
I tried to talk her out of you when I first got there. When I came there to visit, I was like, yeah, that's a bad idea. You should just kind of
do your own thing.
Just keep going.
Yeah, you met Savoy, or the one night you were over there, 2 nights you were there.
I know.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we went to Rodeo Steakhouse.
That's right.
Or Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, wherever it was.
Savoy and me went there all the time.
Yeah. We had the Thai place. I miss that Thai place.
Savoy also didn't talk to younger women either, and
No, I did
he
not.
was almost 6 years older than me, and
5 or 5.
Yeah.
Not 6.
That's funny. No, that was cool though, and I really enjoyed going on the tour of the ship.
Yeah, that was cool, huh?
You're
Fucked
the
up.
perfect size to be on an
Yeah.
aircraft carrier.
Fuck those stairs, huh?
Dude, I felt like I was in a giant clown car on that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a giant on that freaking aircraft carrier.
Yeah, it's not a place for big
I'm
people.
a big fat guy anyways, but I didn't have any idea how.
Did you get to see the racks, like where people sleep?
Only in the little, wherever you showed me, it was like a little, there was like three beds in one room, but it was like a job room where you guys like hang out while you're doing this job. It
yeah.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember where I
It was
took
like
it,
3
but
bunks and a freaking desk.
Yeah.
And basically, Justice was saying that that it was just like, it's not like where you guys sleep all the time. It's where you sleep while you're on the job.
Huh.
Like when you're working on deck or something, it had like I don't remember what it was called. She told me.
yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember where I took him, but
I went.
he got pooped from the stairs.
Did you get pooped?
Well, I had to go up and down. I'm all sideways. I'm like freaking side hilling up these.
I was when I remember that pretty vividly. I was like, man, these bitches supposed to be this steep? Like, this is messed up.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why they got that freaking bar above you.
Yeah,
I think I remember what happened was I was going to take you back to the berthing, which is where the girls slept, and we got all the way to the flight deck and we were there, and I was like, do you want to go all the way back to the berthing? You're like, I'm a little tired, so we don't have to see it if you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I know, because it's a lot of stairs, for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, though. When I first saw it, I was like, God damn, that thing is that big.
I had no idea they were that big.
Me neither, dude.
It's so
Especially
deceiving.
Small kid town from Wyoming.
Even when you've seen those jets and stuff, you've seen jets flying and you've seen them on the freaking runways and shit. But you just can't grasp it until you're like on the deck.
Oh, for sure.
And
dude, I remember when I first got flown onto the ship, they took us, this one kid that was like escorting us around when we first got there. He took us to the smoking pit on the side of the fucking ship, and they were doing flight ops, but I didn't know. And this is the first time like I've been like actually around like an actual like fighter jet, and like that was actually on and close. And we're at the smoking pit, and he's smoking a dart, and I was just like looking over, and then all I hear is, and I was like, it's like, it hurt my fucking ears. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I didn't realize how loud them sons of bitches are, man.
Yeah,
it's
it was
cool.
Pretty neat. I was very impressed with the whole thing.
Yeah,
and I could not. Yeah, the size of that freaking.
It makes you think it's like, let a country fuck around and find out type of thing.
Yeah, well, and they don't go anywhere by themselves. They
have a whole strike group with them.
Yeah, there's a crap ton of.
I think they're supposed to have enough ordnance on just one of those carriers to wipe out a small country.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Justice was saying that they don't go anywhere. They have
we have a bunch of small boys with your destroyers, your cruisers, 4 or
5 destroyers around them.
Yeah, and cruisers,
and half a dozen.
And then you have at least
submarines under there.
1 or 2 submarines.
Yeah.
It's basically the aircraft carrier is like the heart of a strike group, which is basically a bunch of ships.
The farthest away from whatever's going on.
Right. Well, it's just flying planes off and blowing shit up.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty cool. All right. So, got any cool stories from when you were in the Navy?
I mean,
no jets crashing into the side of the aircraft carrier.
Well, we did have one jet explode from when we were doing flight ops, and it's called workup. So they're doing their like qualifications for a workup to deployment for my second deployment. They had a jet explode when I was on the deck. That was pretty cool. Not cool, but it was intense. Other than that, just a bunch of like normal like hydraulic failures, tires blowing on aircraft and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. I had a lot of fun when I was over like in ports, but yeah, it was a lot of stuff
You're all looking at her like, I can't tell this story.
I don't care. I already know he had some crazy times. He stressed his mom out a few times with his debit card.
Yeah. So I had my mom. I gave my mom power of attorney so she could look at my accounts just in case I couldn't handle something when I was over on deployment. So she would. My mom's a worry wart is the best way to describe it, right?
Yes.
Yes. So she would monitor shit and be like, "What the fuck is he spending all this money on?" Oh, I'm in Spain, at a strip club. I'm gonna spend some money. I'm, 23 years old, 22 years old. I'm gonna have some
With
fun.
nothing else to spend your money on.
Exactly. I have nothing to spend money on. But no, yeah, we were doing work up off the coast of Florida, and what had happened was they had pretty much a big storm roll in over Florida, and it cut off our divert field for the aircraft. So the aircraft have to have another landing area to go to just in case something does happen. So if something happens on the flight deck or anything like that happens, they have to have something to be able to divert to and go land there just in case. Well, a storm had rolled in, and this is just from what I remember. I might remember it wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. A storm rolled in. The divert field couldn't take any jets, so they started bringing in everything that we had launched, and it was about 10 jets, 10 F-18s. And so what they did is we brought them all in, and we started parking them. And what they do is you have an island on an aircraft carrier, which is basically the flight tower, or what do they call that? Flight control. Just like you see at an airport, but it's basically what it is. Yeah. And so in front of that, you have 3 jets parked on the side of the aircraft carrier where it's like right against the edge, and then you have another 3 parked in front of those, and it's called the 6-pack. And what would happen was this kid, he was fueling up one of the jets that had landed. The jet was still turning, so it was still on. And when you overfill those F-18s with jet fuel, they start to spew them out the top like a geyser almost. So what this kid, he was under instruction, he was brand new, this is what I gathered, really didn't know what he was doing, was filling up this jet, and those locking, like they have like these like spinning locks that they put with the hose to fuel them up. The kid had it locked on there, he was filling up, he overfilled it, that jet started spewing out jet fuel out the top like a geyser. I never gathered what exactly set it off. From what I remember talking to the guys that were on the deck with me, and at this time I was in crash, so we were first respond. We basically had a little mini fire truck on the flight deck. It's called a P-25, and it had AFFF in it, which is it's just basically soap that you put over a fire and smothers it. And we're sitting on that, and I was one of the crash crewmen on that, and that jet lit off, and it caught on fire, and all that jet fuel caught on fire, and the pilot was still inside of the jet when it caught on fire, and that fireball, I'm not shitting you, went about, I wanted to say it was either 200, 300 feet. It was just as tall as the island.
Holy shit.
on the flight deck.
Just freaking fire geyser?
It was a fucking fire geyser, and it was
shit.
going. And that when it lit up, it had blew that kid, that locking mechanism on that hose. It blew that off, hit that kid in the face, and flung him back about 20 feet. And
oh god, that had to fuck him up.
It fucked him up. I think it knocked out pretty much all of his teeth. So that lights up. We respond. We start putting water on the fire, and that pilot, before we got there though, the pilot had the wherewithal to keep calm in that situation and turn off his engine, turn off his APU, and then he ejects from the jet. And because he was in a fucking fireball. So he's on the deck, he ejects, he goes up and over the island. And then at that same time, they had a helicopter on the back of the aircraft carrier still turning. So it was still on. The rotors were still going. Well, this dude is coming down, and he's coming straight down with his parachute for that fucking rotor blade. And so he yanks on his chute, and then he comes fucking beelining for the deck. I'm pretty sure he ended up breaking both his legs. I think he fucked up his back too. I don't think he ever flew again. But that dude saved a lot of people's lives that night because he turned everything off. And what really kind of saved us too was that, so on those tanks, they were completely full of fuel. So they had no space for the actual fumes from the fuel to be in there. So there wasn't any space for those fumes to expand. And if
Which is what would have sucked that flame back down into.
What would have happened if those would have lit off and they had room for those gases to ignite inside of those tanks, the whole jet would have actually exploded and would have killed all of us. But we ended up putting it out in, I think, in like 45 seconds. Everything got turned off and ended up getting her done. So it was pretty intense. It melted that jet. Like when you looked at it, it was fucking melted. Like it looked like a candle took to it. And what's fucked up about that is that when those jets start to melt like that, when they get to their melting point, they fucking basically turn into like almost like asbestos in the air. So they get like particulates going in the air, and if you breathe them in, they can give you cancer in your lungs. Well, I remember the fucking Navy made me sign a paper saying I wouldn't sue the Navy for getting lung cancer. Is that fucked up?
Hey, they own you.
Yeah, but that was the craziest thing that happened to us on a flight deck. Other things was just like hydraulic failures where you had to like, what happens if you get a hydraulic failure? What's fucked up with the hydraulic failures is when you get them onto like an E2, which is like a prop airplane, as a jet prop. And when they're turning, it's like trying to walk through a fucking hurricane trying to get to the landing gear. But other than that, nothing too crazy. A lot of fun.
That's freaking cool, though.
Yeah, it was cool.
So, what were, you already told me some of your favorite places. What were some of your big pros and cons of being in the Navy?
Well, it sucks being on a fucking ship for 9 months. That sucked. It was like being in prison. That's the best way I describe it.
Well, at least you're on an aircraft carrier, dude. There's like fucking 5,000 people on there.
I don't know.
It's a city.
I don't know how the submarine people do it.
I don't know how they do it either. They share bunks. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they get off shift and come on shift, they share a bunk with somebody.
I'll tell you what, those submarine people, they end up making a shit ton of money after they get out.
Yeah. I can see that.
I've got a friend that he went in the Navy as I think he ended up being like some kind of nuclear tech or something on.
Yeah. They're weirdos though.
And I don't know what he does now, but I know from his Facebook and stuff that he's definitely well off for sure.
Oh, for sure.
He's got freaking money.
Oh, I mean, every person's Navy experience is going to be completely different because it all depends on your job.
Yeah.
And it all depends on your attitude and depends on what you're trying to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I hated things about it, but I also would not want to do it again. You know what I mean? It's like I don't regret doing it at all.
Well, and you're right. I mean, it all depends on what you take out of it and what your mindset is getting as you go through. Because like the guys that I bought this business from, they were both freaking Army guys.
Yeah.
Or not Army guys, they were Marines, but they were just nothing special. They were just infantry Marine guys.
Yeah. I have a lot of Marine infantry friends.
But when they got out, they just saw opportunities and were like, "Hey, let's do this and let's do this," and they kind of stayed partnered up doing some stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And ended up now they've got multiple businesses and they're both successful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the military in general is a great opportunity for people who don't really have a direction in their life and need like that type of direction, that type of what's the word? I don't know.
Well, you started school.
Yeah, I did start school. I needed discipline. This is what I really needed.
This is
I didn't. Which is crazy because I was super disciplined in other aspects of my life, but I wasn't actually disciplined in like, I don't know, controlling, like actually wanting to better myself with schooling, learning, and things like that. I didn't have a lot of, I cannot think of the word for it.
Well, so when you went in, you were similar to Justice. I mean, you hadn't lived a super sheltered life. I mean, you had experienced some stuff.
Yeah.
You had traveled a lot with wrestling.
For sure.
You had, you grew up around guns.
Yeah.
Your dad was in law enforcement. So, I mean,
yeah.
Oh, and you're used to discipline because you were in wrestling.
Right.
So you got to the Navy. What was your impression when you first got there?
Oh, I thought when I was in boot camp, I'm like, this shit is easy. I thought it was going to be way harder. I was like expecting like Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean?
Because I know Justice talks about how she was blown away by how many people there had never even been out of their hometown, or how many people had never touched a gun in their life, or any of that kind of stuff.
The amount of people that one of the things that I picked up on was I was fucking mind blown by was the amount of people that didn't have driver's license.
Yeah, we talked about that.
What the fuck? What do you mean you ain't got no driver's license, dude?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get around?
Since I was 12.
Yeah, what the fuck? I was like, what do you mean? It's like, how do you get around? And these are people from New York and back east, or
well, and the Navy
California.
also has the most people from other countries as well.
Yeah, I met that was one other thing for that I thought was really cool, and I didn't realize it until I actually was in, because I actually gained some pretty good friends that were from Nigeria. I had a good friend from Cameroon, and a bunch of people from all over the place.
Dude, you have no idea how good you have it in the United States until you hang out with people from another country, and they tell you,
especially in the
they're like, dude, you guys, this is amazing.
yes, they seriously. And then I learned that Haitian women are fucking mean, mean. I had a supervisor that was a Haitian woman, and she was fucking mean as all get out. Jesus Christ, you didn't want to fuck around with her. I did learn that. But yeah, like dudes from Cuba, they do not. They're like, this is United States is the best place in the fucking world, type of shit.
When I joined the Army, like a whole battalion or something, I don't know how big, a whole group of Puerto Rican National Guardsmen, were in my group when I went to boot camp, and number one, it made boot camp twice as hard because most of them didn't even speak English.
I love that.
And none of our fucking drill sergeants spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Or spoke it good enough to talk to these dudes.
Yeah, he's like, mira, hey.
And so
pick
they
that
would
up.
take, like, I don't know how it is in the Navy, but in the Army, when you're at boot camp, they assign you a battle buddy. It's basically like your fucking shadow.
Yeah.
And it's randomly picked by your drill sergeants, and you're at the mercy of however good your battle buddy is going to determine how much you get smoked.
But that's good though, because it's like, hey, you're going to make your battle buddy good, because I'm not going to let you drag me down.
It was not good for us, because basically what they did was they gave everybody a Puerto Rican National Guardsman as their battle buddy, so that at least one person in the group, one person in every pair could speak English.
Yeah. Well,
I can't speak Spanish.
And this dude's like, so what the fuck are you saying?
I couldn't communicate with him either. He's my battle buddy. His name was, his last name was Oliveira. I don't remember what his first name was, but his last name was Oliveira. He spoke a little bit of English, but, man.
I'll tell you what, they're hard-working sons of bitches, though, dude.
Oh God, that guy could kick my ass. He worked so much harder than me.
Yeah,
I felt bad for him because I was, and we got picked on doubly because he didn't speak English very good and I was fat. So every time I was doing push-ups, he was doing push-ups.
Yeah.
He could do like fucking 20 pull-ups.
Yeah.
out of the get, dude, when I left the Army, I could do.
How much shit do you think he talked to you in Spanish?
I think he was super religious.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he, and he did not have a very good grasp of, sarcasm.
Oh, so he must have been like, fuck, I must be the one fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was always apologizing. And, I mean, he was like the nicest, most polite.
So you're
dude,
getting in
man.
trouble. Do
Yeah.
fucking push-ups.
The
He's
only
like, I'm
thing that
sorry.
sucked-
I'm
the
sorry.
One thing that did suck was he was left-handed.
Uh-huh.
And so when we did M60 training,
Yeah.
you have to use whatever handedness they are, you're on the opposite side. So I was on the side of where the rounds are ejecting, and you can't move. You have to lay there feeding the ammo for them. And all the fucking brass kept going. I got in trouble because I fucking turned my head around backwards because all the brass kept trying to go down my shirt. I had fucking burns all over the back of my neck and down my back.
shit.
Because I got in trouble for turning my hat around, so I had to turn my hand back around.
Yeah.
And all the brass kept going down my shirt.
That sucks.
Apparently, when I was in the Army, you weren't allowed to have common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to follow the rules exactly as everybody else.
See, I got yelled at in boot camp towards the end because she yelled at my, what are they called? In boot camp, what's their names? Like the head people or whatever, but.
Oh, your RDCs?
Yeah, my RDC. She screamed at me towards the end. She's like, why didn't, I wish you would have told me sooner on that you had common sense.
No.
And I was like, I didn't realize that was the thing that most people didn't have. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she was like, I would have had you been helping me with so much more stuff. I would have been nice to know if you had common sense. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
me going to boot camp, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be like Forrest Gump in this bitch.
you don't realize
you tell
how
me to, drill sergeant.
I never realized fully, like, to an extent, how many people don't have common sense. And now, like, being a manager of a business, and then now, like, at my job, I'm not a manager at my current job, but when we are looking to hire a new person, I'm always thinking of new ways. I was like, how the fuck can we in this interview determine whether or not this person has common sense? Because that is something that your employees need. And it's so hard to find people that have common sense. And in boot camp, you don't realize how many there is that don't have common sense until you hit boot camp. You're like, wow, these people don't have any common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be fucking surprised.
Open that door with your face. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, drill sergeant. That's the best soldier.
That's funny shit. That's funny that both you guys are at different times fucking have the same thing that stood out to you.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy.
It's weird. It doesn't matter where you live. There's always stuff that you take for granted.
Yeah.
You know, but when you join the military, it's magnified.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff. I had, I was from Roseburg, and at least when I was a kid, there was like, Roseburg was a white town. I mean, there was like 3-4 black people that I knew, that I had seen, but I didn't know any. I knew one black person. It was a girl that rode our school bus.
Yeah.
But other than that, I knew nobody. And then you join the military and you go to boot camp, and there's all these other races and everybody's got their different colors, and some people are very strongly religious and some people are not.
Yeah. Well, see, from when I grew up, my grandparents were, on my mom's side, were very Hispanic. They're fluent in Spanish. They were in a Spanish community, well, more Latino community. It was all a bunch of Mexicans from Mexico. So I grew up around all Latinos when I was over at my grandparents for my entire life. So I felt comfortable around that. Mm-hmm. And so when I went in the military, I felt comfortable around Latino guys, and it was just one of those things. It's like, and then I had a couple friends from when I was growing up too that were black dudes. So it was like, it didn't really bother me and then one of my best friends going through boot camp was this big black dude from Mississippi that had the thickest accent you ever heard in your life.
Dude, your best friend was a black dude from Mississippi. One of my best friends at boot camp was a white dude from Mississippi.
Really?
Most racist dude I ever met in my entire life. Is the black dude from Mississippi also a super racist dude, just the opposite way?
No, he was chill guy, man. Me and him got along real well. We went through all the way through our A school in Pensacola together. We were roommates, and yeah, that guy I was real good friends with him.
Got in a fight. He fucking him and a black dude got in a freaking huge fight on a Sunday when we were just on the bleachers polishing boots. All because he tried to sit on the same bleachers as we were sitting on.
No shit.
I mean, these are huge freaking bleachers that you can fit like 50 people on.
Yeah.
But he tried to sit on the same bleachers as us, and my buddy was like, "That's not happening."
Really?
And
no, I never ran into anything like that.
I'm sure that I never kept in touch with him after that, but dude, I'm sure that had to catch up with him at some point in his life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, I had never experienced racism like that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
no, I'd never had anything like that happen to me. I remember there was one white dude from where the fuck? I think he was from Chicago. And he was a white dude, and he kept saying the N-word, and a bunch of the black dudes were like, hey, bud, and these are dudes from like New York. So they're from like the Bronx and Brooklyn, and they're like, "Hey, man, you can't be saying that shit." He's like, "Bro, that's what I grew up around. That's what I, And they're like, "Nah, dog, that's not how we do things. Don't be saying that shit." And I was like, "Damn, this dude's about to get the shit beat out of him. Better be careful, bud." But that was about the only thing. But
everything happens on the down low though when you're in boot camp because nobody wants to get in trouble.
For sure.
I remember these two guys freaking.
See, that was a nice thing about my work center. Like when I was in the Navy, like we handled everything in house.
Yeah.
So we didn't because we were a small work center. There was only about 20 of us, and it was super small. So we had about 15, 18 dudes that were like actual like firefighters or crash crewmen, I should say, drivers, and then you had our like LPO and APO, and then you had our chief, and then we had our officer, which was a warrant officer, and that was the work center. That was everybody. So we handled everything in house. So if we had a dispute with one each other, we took it to the berthing and we handled it there. You know what I mean? It didn't leave that. It didn't go above that. So that was nice. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was more of like a brotherhood type of thing. And then that's kind of like what got me into wanting to be a firefighter as well. It's like that's something that I look for, is that bonding with other dudes that you're doing hard shit with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that job in the Navy is kind of what inspired you to want to do what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I mean, things got set back a little bit. I
know when I first met you got here, and you had told me that you thought you wanted to either be a cop or a fireman, but you couldn't figure out which.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, I don't know, like I said, my dad was a cop, so it's like me growing up, it's like I've always had that thing instilled in me where it's like if you're able to help people, then you should do it. If you have the ability to be a civil servant, then you should do it. I come from a long line of dudes serving in the military. My grandpa was in the military. My dad was in the military. My uncle was in the military. I was in the military. So it's just one of those things that's instilled in me as civil service. And so it's just, is this something I feel comfortable with, something that I enjoy, something that I love? And it's something that I wanted to strive to do. But, I mean, things got set back a little bit when, I mean, we had, three kids before I started school. I was working out of the mill. I needed a job. So when we first moved up here, I was like, well, I had to have a job. Mm-hmm. I had to start providing. And then, so I started working out of the mill, and I fucking hated it. I hated my life. And then thank God for Justice, because she was like, get the fuck out of there. You hate it. You don't like doing it. I don't like you doing it. Go do something you want to do. You have your schooling paid for. I
told him, I was like, we'll figure it out for a couple of years while we do it.
I have a job where we can actually
get
tough,
this through.
Yes.
You do what you need to do to take care of your family.
Yeah.
And then
you realize
that if anything you change of that, whether you really want to do it or not, is going to kind of fuck you.
Yeah. It was such a leap of faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a fucking leap of faith to be like, all right, I'm gonna quit my job and go to school full time.
I say I've been living the single mom life for the last 2 years.
Yeah, at 30 years old, and then for the first year of school that I was going through, I was still working. I was working graveyard, going to school full time, and then trying to be a dad. I mean, it's brutal, and I'm still kind of going through the same stuff, but.
We're in the last home stretch now.
We're in our home stretch. We got light at the end of the tunnel, and then thank God we're blessed enough to have the opportunity that I have now, you know, and
for him to get offered a job so soon after as well, which was a huge blessing. Because I mean, some of those guys will graduate from the firefighter academy and have to wait a little bit to find a job or find a job in a new city as well. Like they could find a job, but it could be in a new city or wherever. So then potentially
my friend
moving.
Michaela went through that program, and she ended up having to get a job up in the Dalles because she couldn't get a job around here.
Yeah.
And she was up there for a while.
It's
I don't know
hard.
what she's doing now. I think she's not doing that now. She's doing something
That
different.
was one thing when I was going through this process is just like how difficult and how on point you have to be in order to get a job.
Yeah.
An actual firefighting paid guy job. Because I've been volunteering for the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to school, paramedic program, and doing all that. And then, I mean, it's, thank God I can't tell you how lucky I am. I think a lot of it's just luck. Because I got blessed with a great mentor when I got put out at the fire station I got put out at. He was it was just one of those dudes. It's like he's so passionate about his job and how it's so important to him. He's one of those dudes when he talks and he's so invested in it that when he talks and he's trying to convey to you information that you listen. You're like, okay, I got to listen to what this guy is saying because what he's saying is going to help me out in the long run. He's one of those dudes. You know what I mean? And so I got put with a guy like that, and it's hard to find guys that are passionate about their job and are so willing to teach the next person coming up. And I think it's great because it's instilling in me, and hopefully in the future for myself, I'll be able to pass that on to maybe some guy in the future that is like, hey man, how do I do this? And then I'll be able to be that guy for him, be that passionate and that dude that's willing to teach him too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It's like you get what you give and you always pass it down. You know what I mean? So I've been really lucky going through all this, and
well, that's cool. Well, I can tell watching you go through what you've gone through that you definitely are loving it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. I mean, you have told me, but tell me again a little bit of how the training process works and what you're doing and what you've had to go through and what you got left to do, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a new experience for me. I had no fucking idea what I was getting myself into. I just knew when I was working at the mill, I was telling Justin, hey, I want to get a firefighting job. So I was just like, how the fuck do I do that? So I was like, I looked into the college and I was like, all right, I got my schooling paid for. What do I need to take? What courses do I need to take in order to progress my line and of going to gain my goal of becoming a firefighter? So I knew that from asking around and talking to some people that I needed to get my EMT, then I needed to get my paramedic, and then afterwards, this is where
he didn't listen to his wife.
I didn't listen to my wife at this point. So I was in my head, I'm like, I'll get all my schooling done, then I'll start volunteering. Because I just didn't want to add more stuff to me. But that's not how it worked out.
Most firefighters do the volunteering and the firefighter stuff first, and then the EMT and paramedic stuff next.
Yes.
Savoy did not listen. I told him like 50 times this, and he's like, nope. I will say it ended up working out for us, but he did not listen to me.
I'm a person that has done everything wrong in the right way. So I ended up, started going to school, got all my prereqs done, got my EMT, applied for the paramedic program, got into the paramedic program. I'm just finishing up this summer with that. Right now,
I tricked him into volunteering, basically.
Then I started volunteering in January. Quit my job out at the mill when I started volunteering because I wasn't going to. There was only so much I could string myself out. So started volunteering at the fire department. Then I got a lot of my information from my mentor. Started moving down that progression, and then had the opportunity to apply for a firefighting position here, and I was lucky enough to get picked up. And now I'm going through academy right now, and I'm also finishing up my paramedic, which is going to last through the summer, and then hopefully I got 6 months to pass.
He says that he hasn't failed a test. He's good at school. He's passed every test. So,
in academy, you came over the other night and you're fucking you look like somebody beat the shit out of you, dude.
Yeah, academy has been a fun ride. Rough but fun.
Yeah.
So
it's not for the faint of heart, though.
No. So the last few days, I was lucky enough to do a course on safety and survival. It's called the Randy Carpenter course, and it's basically what it's based on is a bunch of prior situations where firefighters have found themselves in situations and unable to get out. So a lot of these scenarios and these skills that you go through for this class is firefighters who've died in situations like this and how to mitigate them. And then what it really entails is really getting you super comfortable being in uncomfortable places. Being able to be super familiar with your gear, do everything. I mean, a lot of it, you're completely blacked out the entire time. And you got to work through problems, problem solving. But the biggest takeaway for me was getting more comfortable in the equipment that I have. Yeah, it was great. It was probably one of the most informative, best classes I've ever taken in my life. It was hard, it was fun, and I felt accomplished when I got done with it. It was great. And my instructors that I went through it with, those dudes are on it. Those dudes are sharp, they're smart, they're passionate, and they really want to help people. They really want to help firefighters, and they want to make sure that the new guys coming on can get out of a bad situation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It sounds like, talking to you, it sounds like if you have any huge fears in life, you're going to get over them going through some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're claustrophobic, it'll fucking weed you out real quick.
Or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you have any of those fears, you're either gonna overcome it, or it's gonna weed you out.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
My husband thinks it's hilarious that I get claustrophobic and our daughter Lyra gets claustrophobic. He thinks it's so funny, and he will just lay on top of us until we're screaming. Yeah. So the claustrophobic, he thinks it's funny.
I don't know. There was a point where I went through that class and I was like, "Fuck, I'm getting claustrophobic." Yeah. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get out of this. But it was good. I walked about. I mean, I haven't been that beat up in a long time, so it was cool.
It's all about pushing you to the point where you're getting so confused and so.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's getting comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're in an uncomfortable situation, it's all about being able to take a step back and problem solve. It's a lot of what it is. It's like there's firefighters that have had one wire wrapped around their gear, and they had wire cutters in their hands and they ended up dying. You know, that type of stuff. Yeah. Or firefighters that have been stuck in a small space, and the guys that are trying to get them out get so overwhelmed and so overworked trying to get this guy out because it's your buddy. You're trying to get him out of a bad situation. He's going to die if you don't. They get so overwhelmed and so hyper focused on trying to get him out that they forget that they have to give him air, and he ends up dying from not having enough air when they have equipment to give him air. You know, that type of stuff. So it's all about being able to critically think when you're under pressure, being able to be comfortable in your gear, being able to be realize that you're in a shitty situation, but you can work your way through it.
Yeah, that's freaking cool though that you have to go through that much. I knew that there's a training process.
No,
but I had no idea the extent that it goes to.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel more comfortable with those first responders that are out there coming in.
Oh yeah.
Knowing that those guys have gone through this.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they do.
And I was telling you at lunch that, dude, I have the hugest respect for EMTs, just because I've had to deal with them so many times over the years with my with Mariah, with your sister-in-law. And when she was a little kid, when she was a baby, she had to ride in the ambulance. Like, I thought she was gonna be the death of me, dude. She had to ride in the ambulance like 4 times.
That's terrifying. That's the one thing getting into this is anything to do with kids, man. And I think it's because I have kids. That's just it. It makes me nervous.
Well, I've got two of my regular
makes me
customers,
hurt more.
Got jobs as police officers. And they're not police officers anymore because the first time they had to deal with something big with kids, it fucked them up, and they're like, "No, I couldn't do it. I had to find something else." And they both quit doing it because it's too much. So.
Yeah, it's not cool. I don't like it. I think it's the most unforgivable sin is to hurt someone who's an innocent like that. I don't do kids getting hurt. It's not cool with me. You know. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see how passionate you are about it already.
Yeah.
I can only imagine once you get going past the training portion.
Yeah, for sure.
How much you're going to get into it, because you're one of those guys that kind of, once you get into something, you're all in and you want to know everything about it. So
yeah, I am.
I kind of imagine that you're going to be like, give me more training. I
want to be a nerd.
I want
to be a fire nerd. And, I'm enjoying that.
But that's cool, and I like that. I like knowing that there's people out there that are like that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like your mentor's like that.
Yeah, he is.
And that's good to know. I know I have a few customers. I don't have as many firefighter customers as I'd like.
Yeah.
I got tons of law enforcement, but
I'll try to help. I'll try to change that.
But the firefighters that I do have,
they're
freaking good guys. And
they're great guys.
I really like all of them. So.
Yeah. That's one thing. It's like when I started volunteering, one of the things that was like solidified for me is like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do. Was every dude that I talked to was like, and I'm sure there's guys out there that don't have this same kind of mentality, but for the most part, from the people that I've talked to, every single one of them, they're responsive like, hey, why do you want to do this job? Because this is the best job in the entire world. There's not a job like it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like hearing that.
Right on.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And the more I get into it, I'm like, these guys are fucking right. This is the best job in the world. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's neat. I like it. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad that you found something that you're passionate about and that you want to get better at.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about you at first.
Yeah. I was a little lost when I first came up here.
Well, I think you did the thing where you did what you needed to do to take care of your family. You got on at the mill.
Yeah.
And then you were like, well, I'm stuck here now. I can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do it.
And that I have all that. That's her. Yeah. I mean, that's having a good. I'm lucky enough to have a wife like your daughter, because she's very much my motivator, and my person is like, if I start getting offline, she's like, hey, check yourself, dude. Come on. You know what I mean? And you need that type of person in your life sometimes. So
he just doesn't come to me when he needs comforted, because
no,
I get all my comfort skills from you, Dad. So
yeah, I'm good at comforting people.
Yeah, she's not a very comforter.
Suck it up and move on.
Yeah.
Feel bad for
Unless
my kids.
It's her.
Like my kids, I'm like my poor little
her.
I'm like, my poor babies. She's like, they're fine. I'm like, no, they're not.
Just walk it off. It'll be fine. Yeah.
They're my girls.
How are you guys liking freaking family life, being parents, and
it's pretty amazing.
The majority of your guys' time has been pretty stressful because he's been going through school and that stuff.
Yeah, we did everything pretty backwards for sure. I mean, because after I got out of the military, we moved to Wyoming. And then when we got pregnant with Leighton, we decided to move here because of the tribe. And it would be a lot cheaper, obviously, to have Leighton. So when we came here, we had Leighton. And we then decided to buy a house after that because we were going to move and we were going to rent. And I was like, well, why would we rent? Because he's got his VA loan. So it's just dumb to rent when we have that opportunity. And luckily, we bought a house right before COVID hit. We got very lucky with that. And so we got our house. And then shortly before that is when we got pregnant with Lyra. And Lyra definitely gave us a run for our money for a while because she had colic and
poor thing.
Lyra's a little monster too, so she definitely gives us a run for our money every single day. And then we got engaged that next year. And then we got married, and then we decided to have another baby. Logan was a little bit of a surprise, and
Logan was a surprise.
She's definitely been the nicest surprise because
she's the nicest surprise. Has the biggest personality, I think, of all the girls so far.
Sarah and I weren't surprised at all.
I was surprised.
Yeah, we weren't.
In fact, I'm pretty sure we told you, no, you guys are going to totally have another kid.
No, we didn't. We weren't planning on it.
There's no more kids now. No more now. There's no more way to have children.
I'll tell you what, that I'm really happy that we had Logan, though.
I don't know.
That child is a... Oh, man, I've never met it.
I know when I was talking to my dad about before he got to meet the girls, before he got to meet Leighton, I had to like talk him down because...
Yeah, he was not a fan of me.
Well, no, because you freaking had kids before you got married.
I know.
And he's freaking super old school. That was not cool with him at all.
Yeah.
But now he's good.
Which is funny because when I first met Savoy, not first met him, but after we started to get very serious, I told him, I said, I want kids very early. I said, I want to have kids at a young age because my mom had me at 18, 19, and then she had MJ at 32. And I was like, I don't want to have kids in my 30s. Like, I want us to be done with like raising children by the time we're in our late 40s, early 50s. I said, that's not something I said, is that okay with you? And he said, yeah. And that's very early on, we decided to have Leighton. She wasn't as much as a surprise for sure. Cause we definitely knew early on we wanted to have kids. Which has been very nice.
The entire time, it's like, once we get married, that's it, dude. You're stuck with me. There's no divorce.
There's no divorce thing going on,
man. We're not doing that.
We work through everything together. We tackle all problems.
We have our hiccups, but I mean, the biggest thing is just communication. It's talking to each other.
Yeah. He makes me say sorry because I'm not. I
have to make. I don't think she knew the word sorry before she met me. I don't think she even understood what that meant. And then I had
my daughter. She shouldn't ever have to.
Trust me, I had
it's
to
all your fault, man.
I had to be like, hey, dude, you know when you mess up, you do something wrong. There's magical word.
You know how many times we've had an argument and be like, so are you gonna say sorry now?
Come on. I'm like, where's it at, dude? I'm waiting.
And she's like, no, I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry about shit. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
No, we definitely work through everything together, and we're constantly trying to tackle new ways of parenting better and doing things better. Because, I mean, obviously it's our first time being
it's
parents. It's
definitely an evolution. It's definitely a learning process.
It's your third time now.
But they're all our first time.
And what the weird thing is, it's like every kid, you almost have to parent differently in a way.
Yeah, because everybody's different.
Exactly. So that's something that I've had to learn myself. It's like
it's just like working.
Like Leighton and Lyra are they're polar opposite people. Polar opposite. And so it's like you have to handle them both differently. Yeah. Like Leighton's she's a little poor, little sensitive
Sally. Oh God, you can't.
She's very sensitive. And then Lyra's
Lyra gives zero fucks.
Oh God, yeah. She's
I know.
She'll make the Pope curse. Yeah.
I instigate her.
Savoy instigates and then gets upset. He's like, why is she acting like that? I mean, you just made her throw a fit by instigating the situation.
No, I'm like, hey, dude, why are you doing that? She looks just like you, by the way. Lyra is a spitting image of you.
Well, she kind of has my same attitude.
Oh yeah. She was born. I'm like, that's fucking Carlos. I remember that. I was like, that is fucking Carlos.
No, he's lying. Lyra was purple when she came out, and he was like, whose baby is that?
Whose black baby is that?
That was my husband.
This was before I started all the medicals. So.
That's awesome. Well, I'm proud of you guys.
We're lucky that we have, like you and Sarah that help so much.
Oh God, yeah,
well, I
we're
don't help
blessed that
much.
way.
But Sarah kicks ass.
an
She
absolute
helps
blessing.
so much with us and with everything. And it's terrifying to think of sending your child to someone you don't know. And the fact that we have Sarah.
I do, yeah. I don't think we tell Sarah enough that she's truly appreciated. And we're blessed to have her.
Yeah.
We love Sarah.
Without Sarah, we'd be struggling because I'd probably just quit because I don't know what I'd do. Having to send my kids to someone I don't know for sure.
Well, fuck finding anybody to send them to.
Yeah.
And it's very untrustworthy, especially that they're being now.
It's hard
well, and
to
Savoy
find a daycare
even
for one kid. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Find
Well,
one
and
for
Savoy
kids.
even before he knew it, but when he was a baby, his mom had them go to a daycare and she
I was
left
treated
Savoy.
like shit.
Yeah,
That's
she
probably why
left
I got
Savoy
problems.
in his car seat and put him in the back room and left him to cry all day and
I can understand doing that.
that's why he's so tough now. He's like, oh shit.
Can't shit my pants anymore.
Oh man. No, you guys, I was talking, I think it was on my last episode that I did where I was talking to my buddy, and I'm proud of all my kids, but not necessarily just because you guys are successful or anything like that, but because you struggle just like everybody else, but instead of giving up or asking everybody for help all the time, and you figure it out. You suffer a little bit sometimes, and you do what has to be done to freaking get through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we're definitely good at that.
We definitely do. Yeah, I know.
Especially these last few years, man. We've been
sometimes
we make it
you
work.
have to remember to ask for help before you get to the suffering. There's no reason to get there if you can ask for help.
Yeah,
but I understand when you ask for help, it's hard to keep asking for help. You don't want to keep asking. You want to try and show that you can do it yourself, but sometimes you can't. It's
for sure.
Yeah, no, we're definitely like crawling for that light at the end of the tunnel after the last couple of years, and for sure. But we've definitely tried, and between working full time and raising kids full time and managing finances full time, and
Justice is picking up all the slack where I'm leaving it, but
it gets a little tough sometimes, and
I feel bad.
I cry to Savoy every once in a while. I'm like, I can't just give up on all the finances. I always say I wish I could just hire someone to pay all of our bills and just give me an allotted amount of money every month that I can spend.
You cry all the time because you wouldn't have any money. They'd be like,
that's the thing with her. It's just like, dude, it's like, what? She'll be like, well, I spent all this money, and I'm like, well, why'd you spend all that money? It's like, well, we're short on money. I'm like, what the fuck are you spending all that money? I don't fucking know. Like to spend money.
He always tells me to give up my coffee, which will never happen.
No,
he cracks me up because I get coffee every single day, and usually breakfast too. And then he'll call me and be like, "Can I get an energy drink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I already had coffee and breakfast this morning. Of course you can grab an energy drink. I don't mind."
Yeah, I have to be. I'm like, "Hey, can I get this?" She's like, "Yeah."
Mind you, I already spent like $30 that day on coffee and everything else, and he's like, "Yeah."
I can't do finances right now. Eventually, once I get going, and
that was the deal. Yeah,
that's the deal we made. That after I was all done with school and all done with this,
he'd help me with that a little more.
I'm gonna take over at least.
And then he knows that he's got to start supplying for me and Mackenzie and Danielle.
No, you want to tell me what's going to be the enemy is those guys, her and those guys. They're fucking. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. Dumb, dumb, and dumber.
I've been voluntold for so much stuff my life since I've been with Sarah. Dude, and you're gonna be the same way.
Oh my God. I know.
You should have seen him when the new lizard cage showed up. That's 120 gallons and it took up half the bedroom. And he was like, what is this? And I was like,
I was like, what the fuck are we going to put this thing?
This is the lizard cage. We'll figure it out. We need this. And he's like, the lizard doesn't need this. I was like, yeah, the lizard needs this.
Yeah, I kind of just roll with the punches.
Oh my God. Yeah, you guys crack me up.
He doesn't get a say in a whole lot most of the time.
No.
We intended to get one cat and we have two.
Yeah. So, I don't know with these cats if I should be freaking offended or not. Because you named the cats Sarah.
Leighton named the cat
and
Sarah.
Mr. Chubbs.
Yeah, it's Mr. Chubbs. You gotta get it straight.
I never thought about that until now.
I feel like I should be offended by this fucking name.
Just so you know, I love Mr. Chubbs.
Mr. Chubbs is Savoy's best friend. I tell him every day, I'm like, you love that damn cat more than you love me. So.
Mr. Chubbs is my bubs, man.
That's his best friend.
Which
Right?
one was missing forever?
Mr.
Chubbs.
I thought
I put up missing posters.
I know.
It was 5
angry.
days, and I put up missing posters.
I'm dead serious. I was mad at Justice for
We
a
thought
while.
he was dead. We thought he was gone.
I was
I'm
angry.
like, I told Sarah, I said, he's probably not dead. Somebody else just like got him into their house and that's their
Yeah,
cat
I was
now.
upset. I was like, Justice, if that cat doesn't come back, we're gonna have a real problem, dude. Because he's like my.
You stole our cat right off.
Yeah,
Max, the girls talk about Max all the time. We should have stolen him longer before
Yeah,
that.
we
Like,
should've.
Believe me, any cat that comes to my house, you should steal.
yeah, Max definitely was a treasure in our house. The girls loved Max, and Max had a nice
sad,
little
yeah.
last stint
I
of
don't
life.
know why he was so happy at your house because he was the biggest fucker at my house.
Oh,
Guess who let him out to die?
You did.
You did.
He bit Leighton, and he got in trouble, and he went outside, and he never came home. I think he just crawled up and died somewhere. He was old.
He was old.
He
but
was
I
an
doubt
old
he died.
bat.
He's probably still sitting at somebody's house out there.
No. We don't say that. My children talk about Max like
Yeah,
once a week. They
that
miss
was a
Max.
good-
Camped out at one of them fuckers that feeds all the geese or all them
Yeah.
Fucking
turkeys out of your
turkeys.
house.
And I
No,
don't know
don't get me
how
started
I had
on
never
fucking
met a
turkeys.
cat that ate human food as much as Max. And Max broke into all of our cabinets and ate everything in our cabinets. And then Max died, and we got Chubbs and Sarah. And those two fuckers break into our cabinets and eat everything in our goddamn cabinets.
I've never
leave
seen that either, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh God,
With
they
Max,
eat
and then-
SpaghettiOs. The girls SpaghettiOs. They leave them for 2
Like
seconds,
complete-
and they're like, "Oh, SpaghettiOs! I gotta eat all of it." Like they eat everything. We have a lizard. They eat the crickets. They eat the roaches. They eat everything. You'll be feeding the lizard, and they'll knock the container out of your hand and start eating the crickets. They're psychos, and I somehow we managed to get 3 psycho cats in our life that just eat everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are nuts. You guys have way too many freaking animals.
Yeah, you're telling me I have to take care of all the damn things.
But I'm only offended by the cats. So, said you're into fantasy and sci-fi books,
Yeah.
and whatnot. But you're also kind of a conspiracy theory dude.
Yeah, I like to listen to them. I don't know if I don't really believe in them too much, but I love.
Oh no,
Some of them I'm like, maybe.
because I'm pretty sure you believe wholeheartedly in aliens.
Oh, dude, that's for sure. That's one thing. I don't think that's a conspiracy though.
He wholeheartedly
pretty-
believes that
It's pretty well known. That's a real thing
what's his name?
Who?
What's the country singer's name?
Oh, Garth Brooks.
Oh,
He
yeah.
full-heartedly believes Garth Brooks is a serial killer.
Straight up.
That's the one
I
cold-blooded-
watched some of those. I watched some of the videos.
Am I right?
There's a lot of evidence.
He is a cold-blooded killer, dude. He is a straight sociopath. If you watch his shit and like this dude is putting on a front, that's not real emotions. He's acting like a person that should be showing emotions. That's how he is. He's like, oh, this is how a person would feel if they were feeling sorry. This is how they would look. And he acts like that. It's like, this dude does not feel emotions at all. He's a fucking cold-blooded killer. He definitely has bodies.
He's
in
turned
his
on the
basement.
documentary and he'll explain it.
And that is-
yep,
Yeah.
look at him.
Seriously, look
There's
at the
the
dude.
murderer.
We watched that shit. I'm like, this motherfucker is a straight-up serial killer. What's his wife's name?
Trisha Yearwood?
Yeah. And she's a full-blooded accomplice. She looks at that motherfucker and she goes, she knows. She knows dead in her heart. I married a serial killer.
The videos I've watched on YouTube are very convincing.
Right?
So
And that's thanks to Tom Segura. He pointed that out for me, and I was like, I started watching. I was like, at first, he's like,
you ever watch Oompaville?
no, I don't think so.
You should watch. That's on YouTube too. It's Oompaville.
Uh-huh.
His are shorter. His are like half an hour.
Okay.
But he goes deep into some weird shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that motherfucker is a straight-up serial killer.
I just watched.
I've commented on his posts like, hey, man.
She showed me that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Where are the bodies?
Where's the body?
The families deserve to know, dude. 100%. The families deserve to know. Do not let them fucking suffer like that. This dude don't care about Ukraine. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, dude. So the alien thing though.
Yeah, the alien. Don't get me started on that.
I honestly. Space
You know what's
is way
fucked
too
up
big
is-
for there not to be something out there.
What's fucked up is I remember you making fun of me about the aliens, me believing in aliens, and then after that, all this shit about like George, or what's his name, George Fravor, something like that, the Navy pilot that came out with seeing the Tic Tac video and all that on Rogan. Yeah, all that shit started coming out. The United States is like, yeah, there's aircraft in our airspace, but we don't know what they are. They're fucking UFOs, motherfucker. Them aliens.
The minute
Them
Trump got into
aliens.
presidency, he's like, "Oh, we need a space force."
yeah. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, "Oh shit, there really is aliens."
Yeah,
Fucking
there's really
space force.
That's all I'm saying. I was like, it was a confirmation. I felt great when I heard it. I was like, hell yes, I'm not crazy. There's fucking aliens out here. And what really did it in for me was I was I was a little younger. I think, how old was I what year did Signs come out?
Science?
Signs. The movie Signs.
Oh god, I don't know. Were you alive when that came out?
Yeah. That was in like 2008,
What? Let's see.
9, somewhere in there.
What year were you born?
1992?
Oh, I thought you were born in like 2008.
No.
2002 is when Signs came out.
2002. So I was what?
Not
10?
very old.
10.
10. You would
10
be
years
10.
old. 10
You
years
just
old?
said you were born in 92. You
Yeah.
would have been 10.
10 years old.
I'm horrible at math. That
Me
took
too.
you that long?
No, I'm pretty good at math. But I'm a little.
Don't worry, folks.
Anyways.
He doesn't need math to put your house fire out.
Actually, dude.
He just needs an axe and a freaking
But,
whatever fire
need water.
extinguisher.
Put water on the hot stuff. That's the best way to put a fire out.
Unless it's on your stove.
Yeah, unless it's oil. Don't do that. But, yeah, and I was 10 years old, and my parents are like, yeah, you can watch this movie with us, and it was fucking Signs.
That scared the shit out of you.
Scared. I've never had something so dramatically
Him and his brother.
affect me.
Him and his brother.
Yes, me and my little brother. We were traumatized by this fucking movie. And it was when they were in fucking Mexico and that thing walks by, does this little arm gate thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like a Sasquatch walk in front of the house when they're having that party. That I saw that, and I had that moment. I saw it as a kid, and I seen it. I would go, I'm seeing something that I'm not supposed to see. I'm seeing a demon. This is a fucking demon that I'm looking at right now. And I had that like pit drop in my stomach, and I was like,
He
I'm
full-heartedly
terrified.
believed this movie was showing him something
Does that
Yep.
Sasquatch walk thing, does that freak you out still?
No.
Dude,
I'm
I'll tell you
over
what
it
freaks
now.
me out is in all the like possession movies
Yeah.
when they like fold over backwards.
Oh, and
walk
do the,
on
like,
their hands and
crawl?
feet, but backwards.
Yeah.
I don't
Shit
think
creeps me out to this day. I'll get
Really?
fucking.
my husband's afraid of anything anymore because
No.
of my
Oh, Jesus
my sleep
Christ,
sightings that I have.
Your sleep sightings?
I had to, of course, Mary. I used to be, of course, I had terrifying. After I watched Signs, there was like a period in that I didn't sleep for like 3 months straight at night. I had to sleep with my parents, or my parents had to sleep with me, and it damn near made my parents have a divorce. That's how bad it was. I was terrified. I thought I saw an alien come into my room one time. I eventually got over it, but of course I had to marry
actually Badger. Dude,
yeah. Of course I had to marry the one person that has visions at fucking night.
And I think I'm awake. I think I'm awake. I am not awake.
And wakes you up, and I'll be laying there, and she'll start slapping me. She goes, "There is a child in our corner," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" There is nobody in that corner. And of course inside I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, there's not a fucking kid in the corner.
I jumped across the bed one time. I was like, there's a gun pointed at my face.
Yeah.
And
she goes, and I get up and I grab the gun and I'm like, what? And I'm like, there's nobody in here. She's like, there's a gun in my face right now.
There's been a goat in our bedroom. There's been people in the walls.
People's in the walls.
Sometimes it's real though.
I haven't seen them yet, but I've been woken up.
What about when there's a bat in your house?
Oh, that bat! I haven't laughed that hard in so long. When that bat,
video of that bat.
What is that? What is that movie? Where that same it was like the same scene from that movie when that happened. It was not National Lampoon, but it was
The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors. Yes, it was The Great Outdoors. In Roseburg, Oregon, at my house.
That video.
Yeah,
but
I was laughing so hard
happened
too.
To me and Sarah in our bedroom. I was asleep. I was stone cold asleep, and Sarah's freaking trying to wake me up forever because she thought something was in our room, and our room was pitch black. She just heard something, and
that's how our room is too. It's pitch black because sometimes I work nights on the ambulance, and before that I worked nights out at the mill. So we have those straight up dark out curtains in our room. And so when all this shit happens, it's pitch black in our room. You can't see anything.
I see everything, okay?
And then she'll sit up on a bed and start slapping me. There's a child in the corner of the room. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There's me out.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I woke up this man and told him there's a spider crawling down to get us.
And I'm full blown, like, she acts like she's awake, but she is not. And she's crawling all over the bed, slapping me, pushing me out of the bed. There's a spider crawling down from the ceiling onto my face. And I'm like, dude, what? At this point, I'm just like, shut up.
With a glass of water.
Yeah.
And when she does that, just shh.
Now it's gotten to the point where she does it. And I'm like, she'll be like, there's someone at the foot of the bed. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm going to sleep. So now it's gotten to the point, it's like, now if someone's going to break into our house, it's like, dude, there's someone in the house. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I think the night that I told him there was people in the walls, he was like, what? And I was like, do you not see the people in our walls? And he was like, what? And I'm like, look at the walls. There's people in them. And he's like, I think you're insane.
It's like, leave me alone.
That's so weird. Your sister sleepwalks.
I don't sleepwalk. I do that.
She has just sleep crawls.
Yeah.
It's a sleep crawl on the bed and then go back to sleep.
The funny thing is I'm like conscious when I do it, and I do it when he's not home too, and I'll see someone like standing next to the bed. I'm like, I'm gonna close my eyes and pretend I didn't see that and go back to sleep.
It's weird. I hate it.
I do it all the time. I did it last night. I thought
our house could literally burn down, and I wouldn't wake up until my feet were on fire because I freaking sleep so hard.
No.
Unless it was like the last 2 hours that I'm in bed.
Yeah.
Those last couple hours, I'll wake up to fucking Sarah farting, and I'm up for the rest of the day. It doesn't matter.
Savoy tickles his own arm in his sleep. It always cracks me up.
It's weird. I don't know why.
He'll be dead asleep and just like throw his arm up in the air and start tickling it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, dude. So, Steve-O.
Yeah.
Steve-O wakes up in the middle of the night, puts his arms up and rubs his hands together like this.
He's making a fire. He's like,
that's fucking funny.
This is a good one.
Let's warm up.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, people do weird shit in their sleep. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I'm usually conscious when I'm seeing stuff, and I just have to tell myself, I'm actually sleeping. I need to pretend that's not there. And I just close my eyes and pretend I didn't see it.
I think that's what they teach you to do when you're having nightmares too.
Yeah.
People that have night terrors or whatever, I think they teach
I've had night terrors before.
Yeah.
I had this one where it's like it was a reoccurring night terror. It was the same dream over and over and over again. It was like I'd be laying in bed, but I would be dreaming that I was awake, but there was someone standing behind me and I couldn't move. It was like a black shadow. That's what I always remember. And then I'd wake up screaming like ah. But I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Dude, the only nightmares that I've had that really mess with me are like where like fucking I get attacked by like insects.
That's
spiders and roaches and shit just coming at me.
Yeah, you're definitely your father's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spiders attack me all the time in my
I did
sleep.
have a nightmare once that I was being attacked by a fucking hamburger vending machine.
Huh.
I don't remember much else, but
Have you ever had a dream where you're like actually dreaming that you're eating something and you wake up eating your pillow?
No.
No,
No.
that'd be weird.
Have you?
I've dreamt that I was eating something, but I was like this.
No. No.
Yeah.
Oh god. So, what's your latest conspiracy deal that you're hung up on?
Oh, I haven't really listened to anything crazy lately, but I remember there was that thing going on in, was it, I want to say it was Sacramento? Or somewhere down in California where all the homeless people disappeared.
Oh, yeah. The homeless people, they just fucking disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
That would be amazing.
They
hear
had
about this?
a big conference that was going on,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, we need to clean up the town before this happens. And the mayor was like, we got to get rid of all these people.
They
Like,
had like a skid row. Like,
yeah. And they,
Move them somewhere.
and
everyone woke up and they're gone.
they're gone. Completely gone.
Nobody knows where they went.
Definitely
They need to talk to
harvested
that
their
mayor and
organs.
Find out what he did.
Yeah, they definitely harvested their organs or sent them off to Mexico. One of the two.
We could freaking get our town in touch with that town.
Yeah, well, I think Medford's working on something right now
Yeah.
to start cleaning up the homeless.
Medford sends them north usually.
Yeah, so that means they're probably going to be...
Well, North is sending them south.
Yeah.
well, they're going to start sending them up here because...
Down
you
here.
know,
We have too many around here.
Yeah.
Way too many.
and I don't know what you do about them.
Sarah is she's right now she's hung up on this it's like Airbnb, but it's people with property that let you park your RV or their sites and stuff on their properties. She's hung up on this, right? And so she's been going through these, just looking at them all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Elk Island is in there,
Okay.
which if you do you know where Elk Island is?
No.
Okay, so that's, you know how you can drive under the bridge on Harvard
Yeah.
and it goes down to the river?
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
then
I
you
think I
can
know what
actually
you're talking
drive
about.
across the river to the freaking little island
Yeah.
that's out there. Well, when you look at Elk Island on the reviews on this freaking website, there's all these freaking bad reviews of people that are like, don't do this one. There's homeless people everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's hilarious.
That's
dude.
so great.
But yeah, she's hung up on that, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, if you just got a piece of property that you can't really use for nothing, why not fucking make $40 a night in the good seasons
Yeah.
Yeah.
to have people stay the night there?
What was that movie that we watched where that chick stayed in that Airbnb and that saggy titty bitch started running down the hallway?
Oh, Barbarian.
Yeah, yeah.
Barbarian.
You ever
Is
seen
that
that?
the one where they like fucking hold her hostage or some shit?
Dude, if you not,
I haven't seen that one.
you gotta watch that one.
It threw us off. It was actually pretty good.
It ended up being really good, but it was just like I remember that scene. I'm like,
They
this
just all of a
big-
sudden like
this
throw
big
this.
ass like hey you guys,
Yeah.
sloth looking saggy titty bitch start running down this hallway towards this chick.
It
and
scared
it's
the shit out of me. I screamed
It is unsettling. It is very unsettling. You're less
because
like,
it hits you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
all of
it
a sudden,
does.
you just see it in this dark hallway.
That's
this
what
girl, and she's butt ass naked. And you just see her like giant tits, like fucking
just
running.
flopping. Oh,
That's
but that's
cool.
what Airbnbs remind me of now. I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna see a big fatty bitch.
We stayed at a resort in Portland. What's the name of it? McMinimans.
Oh, that place was creepy.
We stayed at the McMinimans Resort up in Portland, and it's a swingers resort.
It has to
Oh,
be.
yeah?
It has to be. It has to be. Everyone's walking
They were
around.
coming at you, huh?
No. But I picked up on it.
Everyone's
The
walking
vibes,
around in
the
robes.
Thing what I noticed, because there's just
Outside, inside, in their robes. And then, like, you went to the pool, and there's, like, couples, and, like, the men are wrestling together. And Savoy's drunk ass. He's drunk as fuck, and I'm pregnant, and he's just pretending to be drowned.
Dude,
He's-
grown-ass men should not be wrestling.
it was the
No,
best thing
no,
in the
my
world.
husband is not wrestling. He's floating around the pool acting like he's dead, trying to scare people. Every 2 seconds, I'd turn around. I'm like, Savoy, stop playing pretend dead. Like, just. I'm drunk, trying to keep up with him.
Oh.
I had to kick him out because his drunk ass, this bigger girl, hops in the pool and he was like, "Oh, tidal wave!" Screams it across the whole pool, and I was like, "Get up, we're going, we're leaving now." Like, yeah.
I swear
it's-
that place is haunted as fuck too.
Oh yeah, it's an
That place
old.
is creepy.
Well, because
It's
all the
cool.
McMinimans are old train stations,
Yeah.
and that McMinimans, what's the there's a like
It's like railroad on freaking
Dude,
Monopoly, huh?
They
it's
have
actually
this-
pretty cool though because it's
it
like
would
has
be
a-
cool. They have this house that you can rent out, and if you could do the whole house, it would be really cool. We ended up because they have the resort and then they have the house, and we ended up because we booked it last minute. We did the house, and you just rent the room, so then you like have a communal bathroom. But it would be fun to do the whole house, and they have like bars and restaurants and stuff. It was a lot of fun for sure,
Yeah, they have
but
a
definitely
bunch
a
of bars.
swingers resort. I would
Sarah
say.
found an Airbnb. I can't remember where. I think it's up towards Portland. She probably sent it to you.
The one in Junction City with the pool.
Yeah, it's got like a swimming pool and a slide and
It's an
freaking-
indoor swimming pool. It looked
That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's an Airbnb. It looks like some kind of little resort place or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, some of those Airbnbs are
No,
super
don't
nice.
take Savoy's drunk ass to a resort, because especially when
I
you're
have
pregnant
fun.
and can't drink.
I have fun.
He had a blast, and I was just chilling.
Yeah.
God, that's funny.
I
Yeah,
showed up and have like as soon as we pulled into that fucking place, I saw a bunch of people walking around in robes. I looked at Justin. I'm all, this is a goddamn swinger place. Like, what the fuck do we get?
All the robes have, what is it, upside down pineapples on them?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck do we get ourselves into?
Apparently that's a huge, like, I get 1 million TikToks on my freaking feed of people on like cruise ships, and they're like, oh, look at this, pointing at freaking upside down pineapples on the freaking cruise. I'm like,
It's 100%
why
a
is
real
this
thing.
on my feed? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Because they're trying to trap you.
I guess.
They want you to swing with them.
What's so funny is you talk to people that get on TikTok, dude. Everybody's TikTok is so fucking different.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I try and tell people about TikTok videos I've seen, and they're like, I've never seen anything like that on my TikTok. I'm like, how could you? I said, it's like every other video on
My
mine.
feed is pretty wild.
They're crazy because you can actually go into your TikTok and you can go to your settings and reset it to where it's not like for you.
Oh, yeah, it's back to just freaking the
And
OnlyFans
and they
people
say it's
advertising.
horrible. They say don't do it because it's horrible, because you don't realize how much it's like for you until you go and reset it and you're like, wow,
Dude.
this sucks.
Dude,
I
I swear
said
to God,
some-
on my TikTok, like every third video is just some OnlyFans girl that's like, with the fuck, they all have the same music.
That's my Instagram feed. I can't get rid of it. I don't know what
and
to
it
do.
drives me nuts. I try and I just scroll as fast as I can past it,
I even
hoping that's something else.
My TikTok is great. My TikTok is like
His Instagram, I give him shit all the time because you
I
pull
don't
it
know
up
what
and
to
it's
do.
just naked women. I'm like, what is this?
I honestly, God, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried like just straight up searching like stuff that I'm interested in.
You need
and
to
actually
just have
watching
your
that.
phone near you and just start talking about random shit that's not.
I guess I should stop talking about naked bitches.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. He's constantly talking about those naked bitches.
But no, but a lot of my feed is like actually like, so one of our coworkers tries to send me stuff, but I send him stuff that's like way worse, and I scar them because it's like I have a very like dark feed.
Yeah, we have messed up sense of humor around that.
I do.
They're sending you something funny and you send them a fucking turd and floating in the toilet.
Or
Oh,
a dude
no,
getting
he's-
hit by a car or something like that.
Yeah. It's funny because 3 of my coworkers have parents that have passed away. And our office is always messed up. The other day we were talking about Sierra, her mom died when she was 2. And we're sitting there and we're like, yeah, like I had a decent childhood. And Sierra's like, I had a great child. Like I was raised really good. And Mackenzie just looks her dead in the face. She's like, that's because your mom's dead. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay.
I have a very dark sense of humor, but
I
comes
love
up
it.
with the
Dark sense of humor is my favorite.
when you see dark
Yeah.
stuff, like real life dark stuff, it's like you kind of have to have that edge to you. You know what I mean?
Savoy and me one time went to the movies and there was a dark joke in there and we were the only 2 in the theater laughing.
Laughing. Oh my god! What movie?
and
was
everyone's
that?
else like,
Tag.
Tag. I
Everyone's
was
like,
fucking.
Everyone was
dying.
like stunned.
I'm horrible at that. If I hear something
Everyone
like
was
dark,
stunned and it was dark and Savoy and me are just giggling our asses off and the rest of the theater's like, that was bad. And we're like, just
like we'll be watching something and some dude will be getting like killed or like super like messed up and I'll be giggling. And she'll be like, what the fuck are you giggling at? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it's funny. It's funny.
did you watch that freaking Generation V show? It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
we
spin-off
A lot
of
of
The
that,
Boys.
I giggle at that shit.
Dude, there's lots of dark humor in that,
Yes.
and I thought that fucking show was hilarious. I
The
loved
Boys,
it.
I'm a big fan of The Boys.
Yeah.
So this like this new season where he sends a picture to the president select the lady, the picture of his asshole, but she thought it was the documents, and then she opens it and it's just his asshole. I about that is like right down my lane, and I about pissed my pants laughing because I'm like, that is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. In my
There's
life.
so much little stuff that like
Yeah.
happens like that, like
Yes.
just real quick.
real quick, and it's just like,
And if
dude,
you're
my
not paying
God.
attention, then you're like, what just happened? You go back and you watch it, and it's freaking hilarious.
Oh my god, it's
like
so good.
I don't like on The Boys. I think it's on the newest season where they're freaking going in where that big like orgy party's happening.
yeah. I think that was last
and
season.
the brother and sister or whatever are like arguing,
Yeah.
and just I mean it's like freaking 2 seconds long, where he pulls up the freaking his hidden cameras in the toilet where it's just watching people's fucking people's poop and their fucking
Yeah.
balls hanging.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I was fucking busting up laughing, and I was
Crying,
like,
right?
Yeah.
Or when he opens the door and he just gets hit in the face by,
Oh yeah.
it's like, oh my god.
The Boys is hard. I don't do gore, and there's a lot of like.
There is a lot of gore in
There's
that.
a
I don't
lot
do
of
gore.
gore.
The only gore that I can handle, which is odd, is like The Walking Dead. Like that stuff doesn't bother me
That's
at
'cause
all.
they're already
See, The
dead.
Walking Dead was okay.
Like when
but
they
I
like
just-
smash
I
him in the
lose
face and
interest.
like murder him and stuff, that stuff doesn't bother me. But like people like exploding or like bones breaking, it gets me. I can't watch it. Any scary movie that has gore, I'm like, nope. Saw, absolutely
Oh,
never.
yeah, she
I
doesn't do good with like actual torture stuff.
I sit there with my ears plugged and my eyes closed
Yeah.
every time. Any kind of torture,
And I'm over there just like grinning like a fool. I'm
Dude,
like,
I'll tell you what movies fucked me up, and I don't even watch them now just because they make my brain work. Is those like Final Destination movies?
that's just scared
Because
the
all
shit
of a
out
sudden
me.
you start looking at shit and you're
You
like,
know what it is? It's the fucking log trucks.
oh yeah,
That has scarred me since then. I'm
Yeah.
like, every time I'm behind a log
and you
truck,
live in
You're
a
like,
log
oh,
truck county.
exactly. And like I moved
you
up
slow
here.
way down.
I moved up here and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't like look at all these fucking log. Everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, that series messed me up, and so I'm like,
It's like what
it
can
makes
kill
me think too hard about stuff that is probably never going to happen. But
No, the only scary movies that get me is The Strangers because I have
Oh,
this
that don't bother me.
giant rational fear that someone's gonna be staring at me from outside
See,
the window.
people don't scare me because I can kill people.
No,
You know what I mean?
oh,
It's
I'm
like
so scared.
like you can fight somebody.
When-
But when it comes to like demons or aliens, you can't fight that shit.
I could.
Not me. I can invoke the name
Dude, I
of Jesus
feel like
Christ,
I could
but
fucking alien up, dude.
not me. I'm be running like a baby back bitch. I'm grabbing my girls and we're leaving.
One
We ain't
night
messing with no aliens.
at work, it
And
was
I got a sword right behind you, dude. If there's a demon,
There we
I got a
go.
sword.
Excalibur on them.
Yeah.
one night at work. It was in the winter, so it gets dark before we're off work, and I was in the back office with Mackenzie, and I was just sitting there talking to her. She's sitting at her desk, facing her desk, and Danielle had went outside to pull in cars, and she tried to scare me. And she was just staring at me from outside the window. But my brain took like 10 seconds to process what I was looking at. And she almost gave up because she was like, she's not doing anything. I'm just staring her dead in the eyes. And she's like, she's not doing anything. So she went to go move away. And then it hit me. I was like, that's a face looking at me. I screamed bloody murder. I threw my arms in the air.
She's like, why'd that take you so long?
And Mackenzie ducks. Just ducks. She drops her head and ducks. She's like, what? And I'm screaming bloody murder. And Danielle just starts dying laughing. And I was like, that's my biggest fear. And you just did it to me. I was terrified.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, I'm terrified of people. As soon as it gets dark outside, I'm like, close all the windows. Close them.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone looking inside.
No, that stuff never bothered me.
No, I don't do well with that stuff. Not one bit.
Oh God! So, what are some of your goals for the future? I know you're trying to finish up school. And...
Yep, I'm going to finish up school, finish up my paramedic, get through my probationary year as a firefighter. Eventually, we want to work on buying a new house.
Selling our house.
Yeah.
Buying property or something, and
Yep.
something that fits us. I mean, we have a 1,000 square foot house and 5 people.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
2
cool.
dogs and 2 cats and a lizard.
So eventually, we want to move into something different, and then eventually, I want to keep working on educating myself in the fire realm, and then hopefully
I'd like to
make my way up the ranks, and then.
Open up. The firefighters only work
Yeah, I
2
know
days a week,
Justice-
so
yeah.
I'd like to open up a business or something.
Justice wants to open up a business at some point. We're not sure what. I know she wants to open
I
up.
think a lot of firefighters have
They do.
second businesses.
They
or
do, yeah.
second jobs or.
Yep.
I'd
So
like
we'll
to
see
do that.
where that takes us. But my goal right now is getting through my probationary year and finishing on my medic. That's what I'm solely focused on right now. I'm not,
Well, as soon as you're done with school, you can have a side gig being a first aid instructor here.
yeah,
We'll do
definitely.
every other month or so. We'll do a stop the bleed class or
Yeah.
a first aid class or.
Yeah, that would be
Definitely do
fun.
that.
And Savoy, I want him to get more into teaching with like firearm safety. He's super, super good at teaching people how to shoot properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He taught Kirsten pretty well, and like she struggled a little bit with fighting or shooting her pistol and stuff. He's really good at that stuff. I'd like him to get into that a little more.
Then eventually, I want to get into bow hunting. I've been trying to do that for the last couple of years. Just things have been put on the back.
It never works out because it's expensive, and
Yeah,
the
it
last
is.
couple of years have been.
So yeah. So after I get settled, and that's I'm gonna try to my hand at bow hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been trying to figure out something to do. I know I don't want to work full time
Yeah.
once he's hired on officially. For now, it's fine, but
Yep.
my job sucks, so it'd be nice to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you got too many kids to be working full time.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I want to be able to. Right now, it sucks because working full time, and then I want them to do sports and stuff, but all day I run around with my head chopped off, even while working. I mean, last year I drove across town 5 times a day while still working full time. So, I mean, I'm hoping next year it'll be a little different, and I'll be able just to take them to school and do whatever after school activities they want to do or whatever, which would be nice. And Savoy will only be working 2 days a week, so.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to the girls starting to do some sports and stuff.
Me
Yeah,
too.
no. We tried gymnastics last year, but there was just no way to get them there.
I miss watching you and your sister play softball and stuff. So
And we're both big sports people, so we're both very athletic.
Yeah.
My girls are going to be really good athletes. I just want them to do something that they really enjoy. They're just young right now, so it's just like,
well, all the sports when they're that young are just
yeah.
Layton is
Crazy.
very much like she wants to she did one dance recital and she was like, okay, so now can I do karate?
Yeah.
And then she got done with karate. She's like, okay, so can we do gymnastics? Like she is constantly like
what can I do next?
What can I do next?
All right,
Like,
that's accomplished. What can I do
Let's
next?
do something new. Like,
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
she'll-
like her
she'll
new
be
thing
good.
lately is karate. She really wants to get into karate lately.
Yeah.
So this school year, I'm going to sign her up for karate. We'll see how she does with that. She wants to do karate, and Lyra is very much she needs something to help her mind because she's going
yeah,
constantly.
she needs stimulation.
I know down, I think it's by Mini Pet Mart. My buddy Shane, his daughter, is in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
I would love to get into that.
She's been in that for, I think she's been in it for like 5 years now.
yeah.
And he was telling me,
Are the instructors pretty knowledgeable, or
they must
how are
be.
their
I mean,
credentials?
I think so.
There's
and
some
then
pretty good jujitsu.
Mark, our main instructor here,
Yeah.
he is a Krav Maga instructor.
Okay.
So I don't
Yeah,
know
no.
for kids or not, but
Yeah, no, there's quite a few little good places around here. And I know, like, some people, like, adults around here have gotten into jujitsu pretty heavily around here and started to do that and stuff. So I know that there's definitely an opportunity for it and stuff. So
I could picture you, Savoy, being into that.
Well, it's very similar to wrestling.
Yeah.
Just different. I mean,
it's
Different thing.
expensive, but,
The thing
like,
is
definitely
with-
a lot of fun.
the thing with wrestling is it's the best initial sport to get you into any martial arts that you want to get into. It's the best base.
Well, there's
Just
so much
because-
discipline involved.
It's discipline, and then it teaches you so well on your body manipulation and how to control somebody else's body.
Yeah.
That's why wrestling is so great. It's the best base for any type of mixed martial arts that you want to get into, in my opinion.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. And I think it'd be awesome if you guys tried to come up with some kind of a business thing to come up
Yeah.
with.
That's our goal.
And I know you have lots of family that they have the same goals.
Yeah.
Jacob's working on getting his contractor thing going.
Yeah. Kirsten and Cameron are wanting to do something.
Kirsten and Cameron. Kirsten really wants some kind of a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
And I would love to get in business with like Cameron or Kirsten because, I mean, both of them very goal oriented. I know
Yeah.
Cameron is a hard working son of a gun.
Yeah.
That dude works his butt off. And,
Yeah, no.
it'd be great.
Definitely want to do something like that. I keep saying I want to make mini donuts, but we'll see what happens there. I mean, that's would be fun to do even on the side, like for events and weddings and things like that, and getting a little trailer and a little mini donut maker and stuff. And the one in Eugene has grown so big that they've opened a secondary location now and stuff. So I know it's definitely like something that you could do or whatever.
I've
So-
always wanted to get into like an epoxy business.
Yeah.
Doing people's floors. That's just because last year that I was in the Navy, I did a bunch of epoxy stuff. So
Like garage floors and stuff, like for shops. And,
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah?
That'd be cool because you can do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, you can do decals, you can do all kinds of different designs. It's pretty much infinite possibilities of what you wanted to do, especially on your design level. You know.
Well, it's definitely gonna be doable once you're done with school.
Yeah. Who knows? But my main focus on
All the
this next
all
year.
the firearm or firefighter TV shows. All the firefighters are contractors on the side.
Oh, are they?
Like every firefighter
Yeah.
show, they're all contractors. That's what they do with their side business.
That's another thing that's like makes me really know that I'm getting into the right thing. It's like I'm not really worried about how much I'm being paid. It's like the pay is just a bonus. It's something that I truly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I truly love.
He's
I
not
love-
worried about the pay, but that's because I do all the finances. I'm
but
like, can you
I'm-
start getting paychecks, please?
Yeah.
We need them.
I enjoy the people that I'm around. There's not a better group of guys out there than the dudes that are working at the fire department.
Well, you
know?
gotta. That's one of those jobs where it's such a team job.
Yeah, it's
You
a brotherhood, is what it is.
You really gotta.
You look out for your brothers, and they look
Yeah.
out for you. That's what I strive to
Which
want.
brings you right back to being in the Navy again.
Navy, wrestling,
Yeah.
all the same thing. It's an individual sport. You're responsible for your own decisions, but it's all comes down to being a team player and working together and helping each other out. You know. Yeah. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
that's freaking cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
too.
forward to you being done with school,
Yeah.
so that you guys don't
Have
have
some
to
more
stress
fun.
so much.
yeah.
Just because I know it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind listening to the stories of you going through this training program and stuff. I didn't know it was as intense as it is.
Yeah.
I knew the schooling portion of it was pretty intense as far as what you got to do. But I didn't realize how much they really put on you guys to freaking get through that.
Well, I mean, it's a huge responsibility. I mean, we have other people's lives in our hands. So it's just one of those things that if you're going into somebody else's house, you have to have that integrity, that character to be able to go into someone's house and then for them to feel safe enough to not worry about you doing anything other than what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And then if anything, having the integrity to go into having that trust in your community, is so important, especially in this type of job, because you're going to people who are experiencing the worst time of their lives.
Yeah.
If they're calling us, then they're having the worst time of their lives.
Have you had any calls so far during your training where you're like having to think about whether you're making the right choice?
You know, honestly, no. I thought when I first started, I thought about, man, I think I'm gonna get like super nervous and like I don't want to freeze up, but I haven't experienced that. And I've been on quite a few. I mean, I've been on everything and anything that you can possibly think of for the last 6 months. I mean, I've been on a lot of stuff and I've not experienced that. It's more of a like almost a hyper focus. Like I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I feel comfortable in doing this. Of course there's moments where I get nervous, but it's also like when I get nervous, it's a good nervous. It's not a bad nervous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But
well,
yeah.
I know me.
There's
me
nothing
personally.
Yeah.
I think I perform better at things when I'm under pressure,
Right.
than I do when I'm totally prepared for it and whatnot.
What is really I've found myself really improving on is actually just talking to people.
Yeah.
Like the ability to communicate with somebody who is having the worst day of their lives.
Yeah.
Being able to communicate with them, being able to get on their level, being able to understand, have empathy, and convey to them that we're there to help. That has been like my biggest improvement I've definitely seen. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of de-escalating. And
yeah, it's like, what the hell do you say to
empathizing
someone
and that
like
kind of stuff, yeah.
going through something? It's like you have someone's a lady's kid who's having a seizure. It's like, what do you say to the mom? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that type of stuff that you got to learn. But nothing.
I got him a little prepared before because I had some
Yeah.
seizures for him, so he's.
Did they ever figure out what that was just because you were pregnant or what?
Well, I had the.
No, that was huge.
I had the seizure from the heat the first time, and then when I was pregnant, I passed out twice, and they said it was just because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy, I don't think. Just
You had a seizure once when you were in high school too.
yeah.
Yeah, she had an actual seizure with me after she got done at the lake.
Which the doctor tried to tell
super-
me it wasn't a seizure, and I was like, I've had a seizure before. I know that.
No,
was
yeah,
a
it was
seizure.
definitely a seizure. She got back from the lake, super sunburnt, hadn't drank any water, super drunk, and then tried to go to the bathroom, then seized up going into the bathroom, and then...
And he was most mad because I had the seizure, and then I was okay for a second, and I was like, I need to take a shower, and he was like, no, we're going to the hospital, and he walked away for 2 seconds, and I got in the shower, and that's what he was most mad about.
It's like, Jesus Christ, like, what? Come on, dude.
And I was like, no, I just need to take a shower. Like, I'm fine. But
I think that whole thing happened about the same time when Sarah thought I had a seizure.
yeah.
And, which I may have. I don't know. I think I just passed out and kind of jerked around a little bit. And then I woke back up and I was fine.
Yeah.
So, and then Ernie says I did the same thing when we were fishing. Both times I was very drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
there you go.
I think you just have to stay hydrated when you're drunk, people.
Well, that's the first seizure I ever had when I was in
Yeah, they said that
in
was
middle
'cause you were
school. Yeah,
dehydrated.
I was dehydrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just always say I need to stay a little more dehydrated, I guess. I mean, hydrated. Not dehydrated.
Just want to have them seizures. Huh?
Yeah, I just don't have them all the time. So, and then when I was pregnant with Lyra, I passed out 2 or 3 times, and it was just because I was pregnant, I guess.
No, I thought that was Logan.
No, it was Lyra.
It was Lyra.
Yeah.
You passed out with Logan though too.
I don't think I had a rough pregnancy with Logan. I was sick as shit with
Yeah.
Logan. No, we went to the urgent care because I would go from being pale and feeling like I was going to pass out, and then I would be fine. And all the color would come back to my face, and then I'd go pale again. And that happened probably 20 times at work. And they're like, can you please go to the doctor? And so Savoy came and got me, and we went to the doctor, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just pregnant. I was like, okay, cool. But I guess I just have rough pregnancies in that sense, but.
Oh no! Don't take your sister with you to the hospital.
Why?
Dude, they took me, they rushed me to the hospital because they thought I had that seizure, and this was right before COVID.
Yeah.
Like literally, like 2 weeks before COVID, and it was fucking hilarious because they thought I had passed out, and I'm sitting there. So then they said I was dehydrated, so they freaking were putting an IV in my arm, and I was dehydrated, and I already don't have the best veins. So they were fucking around, and your sister's standing there, and she fucking passed out. But I was there for passing out. I was there for having a seizure, and
Yeah.
she passed out. The fucking nurses had a conniption fit, dude. Like, they ran out of the room. They, like, quarantined our room. They came back with fucking paper suits and fucking masks on. They thought that we were, like, outbreak or something. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Get me out of here. You know, I fucking picked Mariah up off the ground. I was like, freaking shake it off and drink something. Quit.
See,
And then the funny part was, that was the day before I had to leave for Vegas for a SHOT Show. And everybody's like, oh, you're freaking not well. You need to stay home.
You're like, I'm fine. See you
like,
later.
Oh, fuck no. I'm going to a SHOT Show. See you later.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I actually, turned out I actually was sick, but I didn't care. I went to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
I don't
typhoid
get bothered by shots or anything like that, or drawing blood or any of that stuff. It doesn't bother me at all. And Savoy and me both are pretty like laid back and relaxed under pressure, that kind of stuff. We just kind of go with the flow.
It is what it is. I've had a lot of injuries growing up.
Oh no, you do overthink a lot though.
I do, yes, I do. I really do. I'm very
You might be
concerned
calm when it actually happens.
I do,
but
yes. Yeah.
You freaking worry about shit happening way before it ever happens.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm very
Although
concerned.
you are getting better the more kids you have.
Yeah. I'm very concerned about my yeah. With
I remember
Layton,
you wanted me to wash my hands before I held my granddaughter when Layton was born.
dude, I was
And I was like, I looked at you like you were stupid and just grabbed her.
it was my
like,
first baby. What do you
Yeah, I
expect?
didn't give a shit what you said. I took care of it.
I do not want my kids getting sick.
Fucking, I can dip Logan in fucking mud.
Did you
now,
not see what I
wouldn't
almost
care.
did to Ronnie when he came in?
I don't remember. Dude.
When Layton was first born, I damn near ripped his throat out because he was gonna go kiss Layton. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
don't you dare!
I remember.
Because
I
it's
remember
He
just
did it
I
to my
was
mom
so
too. My
worried.
mom tried to kiss
I
Layton too.
almost murdered her
when
mom.
Layton was a baby, you were pretty freaking freaked out about everything, and I was
Yep.
like, I don't know what it was. You let me get away with a lot more shit than you did everybody else, because
Yeah.
I was like, Maybe it was just because you knew I wasn't going to listen to you.
That's
But
no, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I will tell you,
I was a hypochondriac
you've
back
definitely got better with the kids.
Yes, I have.
Well, every parent does that.
It was a learning experience. I mean,
Well, every parent's a little bit overprotective of the first kid.
oh man!
And by the
yeah.
time you get to the second, third kid, you're like, oh,
it's
they'll
just
fucking
like,
survive.
It was such a weird experience. I mean, being all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like I'm responsible for this little life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like holy shit. It's a come to God moment. You know what I mean? And I was like, if something happens to her, it's my fault. No one else's.
Yeah.
It's like I got to look out for this little one. Yeah. That type of thing. And I was like, as I had more kids, I was like, okay, I can relax a little bit.
I'll tell you though, I'd never, not for 1 minute, have I ever worried about whether you guys were doing the right things for those kids. I love them.
Yeah.
And you guys put them above everything else. So it's
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all you can do.
Definitely try. I'm constantly like thinking or reading up on different ways of parenting or doing things different. Cause I know like the first, what they say, like the first 4 or first 5 years of your life is what impacts them for the rest of their life. That develops like who they are as a person.
Just
So now
looked
Layton's
into that.
So Leighton's done now. So you're like, oh,
Yeah.
she's fucked
Yeah,
up.
she's
as fucked as she's gonna be.
fucked.
Yeah,
like,
Justice looks into all that, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to be the best dad that I can. It's like I'm trying to pay attention to them as much as I can, and like, of course, I'm gonna have times where I have hiccups where it's like, okay, I gotta calm down. It's the reason to get that mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
I
it's
don't
just one
think
of those things. Like Justice is very like particular and articulate in the way that she tries to parent, and I'm just like kind of go by the flow and try to be the best that I can at the time.
Yeah.
That time, which is good. We complement our.
yeah,
each
I
other
try
that
to
way.
very hard to pay attention to little things that I notice in the
Yeah.
girls too, that
Yeah.
I notice like this affects them a certain way, so we should
Right.
probably change this or that or whatever. Like especially with Lyra, because she's so hard headed. I'm constantly trying to think of new ways that we can do things with her. That because I mean she's so hard headed, but that's also such a great thing to have as well. Like I want her. I don't ever want her to be. I don't ever want to like kill her spirit or like bring that down or tone that down, because I want her to always have that hard-headed mentality that is used in a good way. So you want that in them, but I don't want to. But also at this age, it's like Jesus
like, I'm gonna
fuck,
strangle you.
yeah, like that's why you're like, so you're like, how can I do that? But I don't want to kill their little spirit. So I want her to.
Yeah, you
always,
just at one point you just want to like, dude, chill out.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing going on.
yeah.
You just all you got to do is eat and shit.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you, dude. Relax.
No, one of my good friends in high school, her mom always said like Taylor Beecher, her mom said like Taylor was very hard-headed as a kid, and she said like I knew very early on that Taylor was gonna be a struggle for me, but that I didn't want to kill her little spirit, and so I wanted to morph that in the best possible way, and I like really took that, and especially with Lyra, who is my most hard-headed child, I try very hard
See, I
to...
wasn't raised that way.
I don't know. I kind of think Logan might be.
Yeah, Logan might give us a run for our money. We'll
Logan,
see.
She's just starting, but I think she might be a nice mix of both of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
she
We'll
is.
see how Logan goes.
She's
She's
gonna be
got-
like sneaky and hard at it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
freaking the other day, that child, she grabbed Lyra and tries to bite her and just rubbing her head against her, pissed off just because Lyra tried to hold her, and she was like, like, I'm gonna attack you. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely give us a run for our money, but it's constantly a learning experience for both of us, and we're very good about trying to check each other when one of us is like losing our temper too quickly or
Yeah.
not having enough patience with the children and stuff like that. So we try really hard, but constantly trying to think of different ways to parent, but also your kids need discipline. The soft parenting or whatever they say
Does not
nowadays,
work.
Oh, hell
gentle parenting or whatever. Like you can't gentle parent and expect you can gentle parent, but properly. Like you still have to discipline your children. Like I think that's a big misconception that people have, is that you can not discipline your children and think that they're going to act fine all the time. Like I want my children to behave with other people, and
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And the cool thing is most kids are way better with other people than they are with you.
Yeah.
So-
No, it's weird, right?
They're even better with Savoy than they are with me most of the time. Like
Most of the time, yeah.
the minute I get home,
Except for Lyra. Lyra
they're-
likes to put on a show with me, but Logan and Lyra or Logan and Leighton are chill, super chill with that. But
you just break your
Lyra
bracelet?
likes to push my buttons.
What's that?
It's his anklet I made for him, like 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh.
How rude.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. Anyways, I should probably wrap this up. We should probably wrap this up.
All right.
Been talking for a long time.
Where are we at?
A little over 2 hours.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, it's been awesome having you guys on.
Yeah.
I think maybe you redeemed yourself, Savoy.
But maybe a little bit.
The listeners don't think you're crazy now.
Not a Unabomber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a nerd, but don't get him talking
He's
about...
way nerdier than we got into in this episode.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
it's
should have started
100%.
talking about
I agree.
anime. I mean, he'd probably talk for hours.
I can talk about a lot of stuff that are nerdy.
Yeah. So,
But yeah. And I've learned new things about you all the time, so
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Just like Justice, I'm stuck with you for the rest of my life.
Yeah, there you are. Get used to it.
Which I don't mind. I've been trying to get your parents to move here
I've been too.
because
yeah.
I love fucking hanging out with your parents.
Yeah. They're good people.
They're freaking awesome. Your
Yeah.
mom is hilarious,
Yes.
and your dad and me, we're like the same person.
I know. Yeah.
I told that to Savoy from the beginning.
Well, you told me that
Yeah.
when I went to Virginia to see
Yeah.
you when you were in the Navy. When we went out to Thai food, you were like, "So I'm dating this guy, and his dad is exactly like you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, we appreciate you having us on. I mean, this is the second time being on here, and I'm your daughter, so I'll be on as often as you want me on here.
Yeah,
so.
I'll come back whenever you want.
well, I think I'm gonna have. I like having more than one guest. It's just one person in here at the same time.
Yeah.
It makes things flow a little bit better. So when Mike's not available, I think I might just call on other people that have been on to be my co-host for the day.
Yeah.
And just because it mixes things up and
Yeah.
it's fun. So
Yeah, you can call me anytime. I like doing it.
Mike's big into UFC. You'll have to call him and Savoy on here together, and they'll get into it about it.
I like Mike. Mike's a good guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mike is into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So Mike is a huge.
I love
fan.
seeing Mike on Facebook. You see him pop in the comments randomly, or pop in the likes, or putting a little wow face on random posts. I love it. I'm always like, oh, there's Mike putting his 2 cents in.
Dude,
Like-
on he was the last episode that I had Mike on with me. He drank quite a bit, and then when we left here, and apparently he went on Facebook and was like, "Fuck those cunts" or something like that. Just randomly posted that on Facebook. Well, apparently he went home, or when he got up the next morning, he threw a giant fit because he thought that his kids hacked his Facebook and posted that. And was like all pissed off at them, chewing their ass, and then his mom's like, "It was you were drunk last night, and that was you." And he's like, "No, it wasn't." And he's like, "They hacked my Facebook," and got in a big old fight about it. But it was so freaking funny. But yeah, no, Mike and I, we kind of get along too well, I think. So, and we kind of team up on people sometimes. So
Yeah.
That's how Mackenzie and me are a lot of times. So we always say we're like the same person.
Yeah. Well, the people that have listened to that episode have told me that was the perfect name for the episode because And I tell them, I said, well, they named it. That's what
Yeah,
they say.
we
that
are
they
one
told
brain
me,
cell.
yeah.
We have one brain cell. We say that all the time. And Danielle, it's funny because Mackenzie and me are very much the same personality, and Danielle's slightly a little bit different personality to us. And anytime there's like a confrontation, she's like, you two are ganging up on me. And we're like, we're not, we're checking you. And she's like, you're ganging up on me. And she'll get all pissed off at us. And then
I'm
it takes
pretty
like,
sure checking and ganging up's the same thing.
and yeah.
Sounds like ganging up to me.
And then like 2 minutes later, she's like, yeah, you guys were right. Like, I did say that. Like,
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on, Savoy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm really proud of what you've been doing.
Thank you.
I can't wait for you to be done with school,
Me
too.
so you guys can kind of get into a regular groove and
Yeah.
and get on with your life, and you can get back to, you can just keep saving some people and freaking doing some other stuff.
saving for a new house and fits our family, and we'll be able to host dinner at our house someday, I promise.
Yeah.
I've had dinner at your house multiple times.
Our house isn't quite big enough for the whole family though, so I'm
You
hoping.
know, we had like a little party over there, dude. You were
Yeah,
making
yeah.
crab puffs and
Yeah.
It's a good time.
yeah, and there was plenty of room. As long as I got room, if I got a place to smoke a cigar and a place to pour my whiskey,
We're good.
that's all I need.
Good to go. Good to
Yeah.
go.
And you got a whole garage that you don't even use for nothing. We can turn that into something.
It's true.
It's
Lot
too
of
small to
stuff
park
in
a
there.
car in unless you're driving like a smart car.
Yeah.
The Forerunner will fit in there.
Yeah.
If we
Maybe.
clean it out completely,
It's
like,
empty.
And if you don't want to get in and out of it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I had a garage like that when I lived in Albany. I did not understand why the house had a garage.
Right.
Because
Yeah, well, that the garage is an add-on.
Yeah.
Exactly what it was. It used to be an awning. It's just like an outside awning is what it was. And then they just
enclosed it.
Yeah, it's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Well, and older houses, cars used to be a lot smaller than they are too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and SUVs didn't exist at all, really. So,
Right.
but yeah. So, anyways, thanks again for being on the show.
Thanks for
And
having us.
you guys are fun. I love hanging out with you. And
Well, I hope so, because I'm your daughter and this is your
Well,
son-in-law. So
I don't get to hang out with you as much as I'd like to.
yeah, I know.
So, but Savoy, I really haven't got to hang out with a ton
No.
because, you know,
Busy.
ever since you've been part of the family, you've been working,
I know.
and
Yeah.
you're like me. Work comes first. So,
We're getting there though. We'll get there.
right on. Well, I look forward to it.
Thank
So, thanks again, and thank you everybody for listening. And until next time, guys have a good weekend.